It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Opie and Anthony.
Radio Shock Jocks.
Opie and Anthony.
Infamous DJs, Opie and Anthony.
Talk show radio hosts, Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony.
Radio Shock Jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Shock Jocks, Opie and Anthony. Shock Jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Shock Jocks, Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony.
All right, we get it.
To the best of our abilities, we'll try really hard every day.
What are we going to do? Best of our abilities or a good show?
That is a good point. The best of our abilities falls far short.
I just wanted to see if I could get you riled up now.
Oh, Kate,
You see.
Oh, you see. Obama president, nah. First of all, in January, not nah. President Bush is still the president, nah.
You're a high-profile radio host.
Dude, I can't take this anymore.
I'm scared that my friend, who I love, is going to get himself killed.
What? So be it. Martyr me, dummies.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Ah, that's better as I adjust my volume after a vacation. We do have to do a little tweaking after vacation. Hi, it's the Opie and Anthony program. In for the vacationing Opie is Rich Voss. And, of course, Jimmy Norden.
Yes.
Always here, right by my side.
Yeah. To your right, as a wife should be.
It's right. Yes, on the right hand. Hi, we're back from vacation. Like I said, this isn't another rerun, as they call it in television. It's actually live. Hi, Rich.
Can I, since I'm in for Opie, make some changes here and get rid of me?
What? You want to get rid of you already?
Well, I'm just saying if I had that power.
No, I think you're in it for the haul today. Later on, we have Tom Jones in.
I'm really happy about that.
Very excited about Tom Jones.
This song makes me so happy.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. I'm a man. I know you are.
Of course. And what a man.
I heard things about him.
He's packing?
What'd you hear?
I heard, that he's packing.
Well, of course. That's kind of been the thing that's been going on for years. Yeah, because when he performs live, he wears tight trousers.
Down there, all the way to his...
He wears tight trousers, and you could see things, and then you go... Because I had just seen Tom Jones probably a couple of years ago, at most, in Atlantic City. And you do look and go, that can't possibly be that. Because it's just down. I was thinking perhaps a roll of Krugerrands were in his pocket or something. Just he travels with a big roll of Krugerrands. But no, it's all Tom. Apparently.
Wow.
That's why the girls get all sexed up. Sex bomb. They get all sexed up and throw their panties at him and bras and, he apparently all ages, too. There were teen girls there, and then there were old bags.
Really?
They were all throwing, everything from thongs to big bloomer panties. And then he wipes his head with them. He sweats like a pig. Wipes his head with him and throws him back into the crowd.
You can always tell what kind of woman is throwing her thing at him if he wipes his head and he looks like an Indian woman at the end. Yeah. Like, oh boy, she's probably cranky this week.
Oh, yeah. That girl had Mexican. Well, hi. Like I said before, hi. Opie isn't in because apparently honeymooning.
Yeah.
That seems to be the thing. It was all on the QT before we left and went on our Thanksgiving break. But I don't think it was that good a secret, was it?
Yes, Opie got married, and it was in California, and he's upset about the ban. He's married his girl. Of
course he did. The lovely Lindsay was as beautiful as everyone thought she would be in her wedding dress. Ugh. Isn't that ridiculous when she came walking in?
It's like, wow, that's how a bride should look.
It's it's like that's how a bride should look, not with razor stubble. Hi, Daddy.
I guess
you want me to be a bride this evening?
I guess it was a secret when it came to Pavarotti. Pavarotti? What's it? Oh,
Pavarotti?
You know, it's mere moments after the show started. Mere moments.
What does that even mean?
I don't know what he was even going
Pavarotti?
for.
Yeah. You know the guys that take the picture? I was the picture. I wasn't going to make any mistakes today, too. I said, no mistake.
The Pavarotti?
Well, you're not as far as Voss goes. That's right on target.
Was a secret as far as the Pavarotti, you mean like
Forget it. It didn't work. That one didn't work.
See, he was, I guess, trying to make a point that there weren't a bunch of photographers there snapping pictures at the fact that Opie was getting married. So he wanted to say that it was a big secret with the paparazzi.
If you mixed up Pavarotti and paparazzi, I'll throw my hot coffee in your face.
Oh, he did.
It's like last night. I was out to dinner with Voss late. We had to get up this morning, and he wanted the fish and the asparagus.
No, he didn't say it.
And I go, what do you say? He goes, I got asparagus.
I did not.
Oh.
Shut your mouth. You did. I heard you left the off.
What kind of sauce was on your pescetti? And did you wipe your mouth with your napkin? You are a child.
I'm having problems.
The
Really?
Pavarotti. Pavarazzi, then he says, which, of course, a photography taking Jew haters. Pavarazzis.
Yeah, I always mess that one up.
Yeah, do you?
And Danny was trying to signal Port Rock to get some Pavarotti on. And
Pavarazzi. Because I had no idea what he meant. I couldn't possibly fathom that it was paparazzi.
I know what he meant now, and I still can't believe that an adult male said that.
Yeah, just awful.
What are you looking for?
He was... oh, God.
Spell it? R-E-T-A-R-D. Applies to either one of you.
So his wedding was last weekend.
Yeah.
At the beginning of our Thanksgiving holiday. And it was in Philly. And it was like I was saying, Lindsay looked great. But I'm done with weddings, though. I'm done with weddings. I don't like the whole wedding thing. I wasn't even involved in this one either. Like everyone's like, why aren't you on the crew, on the wedding crew? I was like, nah, I'm glad I didn't want to be. And then the seating, I got a little bone to pick with Opie.
I have an issue
when he
over
gets
the seating
back.
too.
The seating was weird. I was behind a concrete pillar and could not see anything. My back was to it, so even if I was facing it and the pillar wasn't there, it would have been hard to see.
Voss, do you want to ask the pillar why he didn't just turn it over and sleep on the other side?
It was just I was being blocked by a giant pillar, and I was at a table. The table setup where all of the guests were. I think they just put names in a hat and threw them out. We were like, I wanted to sit with Jimmy.
Yes.
And, all my pals. And I was with Ron and Fez, which was fine. But then, like, Travis was at my table, which was okay. But I would have rather had Jimmy at my table. And Danny, of course, I would rather have at the table. Because I hang with Danny a lot. Like, you should know, who we're hanging with usually.
Or at the tables next to each other?
Next to each other. Yeah, there was a table. Like, I was at the table with Ron and Fez, and then there was a table in between, and then there was the table with Patrice and Jimmy. I'm like, what? Why the hell? You guys should have put that table next to us.
You guys were almost in the kitchen. That's where your table was.
I was the furthest away from where everything was going on. It was the table furthest away from everything.
You were at the Undesirables.
Yes. Was it the table that they would have put, like, Dave at?
They put a couple with us.
Well, tell them who was at the table first. It was Rich and Vonnie. It was Patrice and his girl.
Yeah.
It was me and an empty seat.
They should have put you guys next to our table, though.
Of
At least we
course
could
they
have
should
kind of leaned over and gotten a few chuckles.
And then there was the football player.
Tyson Walter and his wife, who was fine. I like Tyson.
Who hates him. And she had, bigger dreams. And
Jesus, Rich.
And then
beat your ass.
I know you will. What do you mean?
don't
One of
care.
Plaxico Burress?
I don't care.
Yeah. Hold this.
And then some couple. And we're talking, we're just talking what we talk, just filthy humans.
Oh, some random couple was
they
thrown
were
in
friends.
there?
I know Lindsay's dad at one point came over. He's like, look, I know you guys don't know. I forget what their names are. He goes, they're good people. Just talk to them a little bit. Get to know them. He was trying to be get everybody to know each
diplomat.
other.
Yeah, yeah.
And he literally could have been saying, hey, there's an apple in there. You might want to go pick it up and talk to it. Not that they were bad people. I don't know them.
Right.
I don't talk to them.
Yeah, there's kind of a mood when the table's all comics. You're going to talk about things you usually talk about when you're hanging out, and then to throw a random couple in there, it's bad for everyone involved.
Especially with Patrice, too, because he knows everything. So no matter what, he's going to start giving that couple advice. She's going to want to end up leaving him.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
He was saying things, and what's his name? The football player's wife was just looking at him going, is this man really for real? The stuff he's saying about women, you know, that their value is all about their looks.
Well,
and stuff,
yeah. Patrice has his logic as far as and reason as far as relationships going. On the show, it works great.
Yes,
amongst the comics, it works great, and even the listeners and everything. But amongst people that don't know him, he kind of comes off like a lunatic.
Yes, he's wearing a pimp hat, and his girlfriend has a black eye. So what are they going to expect?
Oh my God! Yeah.
On the show, he's great, and he's a brilliant comic. And at weddings, he's just a spoiler of fun
really
and a ruiner
is.
of relationships.
So Bonnie and I are talking about the first time, like the first night I met her, the second night I met her, the things I did in the car with her.
Yeah.
You know, that involved my face. You know,
Of course.
And we're talking about this at the table like it's a normal thing, and the couple is just staring at us, going, the second time he met her in the car, he's doing that.
They were horrified. They were watching the rest of the table like it was a giant screening of Two Girls, One Cup. They were mortified at the language, the dismissive nature in which we shut up when we talk to each other.
Yeah, you aren't the most courteous people to each other, but it's fun. It's what you guys do, and if you just throw a random couple in there, they're not going to get it.
And all the waiters looked like there was something crooked about their heads or something wrong with them. And we had this one really gay guy, and I just said, "Can I have coffee?" And I called him Cookie, you know. And he got so mad. He goes, "My name is
offended?
Ed or something." All right, Cookie, just get me a coffee.
He was a very slight man. He was he was the waiter with the waiter with the tiny head. It was almost like a little child had put on a big waiter's uniform.
I was just fixated on the lesbian waiter.
Oh God!
Yeah. Joe Pesci. Every time he came back, I thought of somebody else.
She made Rosie look feminine.
Yeah, that was the manliest woman. I was fixated on that one. I wasn't able to really mingle with the homosexual gentleman waiter.
Yeah, the seating I had issue. When Ope gets back, we're going to discuss the seating.
The seating was one thing, but let's bring it back even further and go to the church.
Okay.
The church was, of course, beautiful. One of those full church mass weddings. Then I found out later the church was set for a location for a movie.
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
That is the Sixth Sense Church. I did not know that.
Yes. Iraq?
Iraq, if you would.
Ron made a point of telling everybody that this was the church as everyone's leaving after the ceremony. He's like, you know what this is?
Sixth Sense Church. Yeah, I didn't know that. I would have, taken some pictures with my iPhone instead of texting everybody during the ceremony. If I knew that was the church. But Patrice walks in, and there wasn't one person surprised at his getup. And I will call it a get-up. It was a black tie event, this wedding, which I guess to some people constituted a Budweiser jacket.
Yeah, I
I saw one gentleman in front of me had a Budweiser jacket on. Someone else was pretty much just came in their PJs.
One guy was in sweatpants.
Sweatpants.
I thought it was black tar.
Wait a minute. What does that have to do
Nothing. He just was trying to think of a T word.
I know. You know, like hot tar.
We got it.
For hot tar.
Yeah. It still doesn't
It was
make
terrible.
sense. Why would the guy in sweatpants?
If you went with the flow, no one would have realized.
No
that
one
it was
wears
there.
sweatpants when they're tarring a roof. You would wear something a little more durable.
No one.
No one complains about a pillar. Okay, big deal.
What? I couldn't see from behind. I didn't have X-rated vision.
Well, you're the host, and you tell somebody else, I want to sit at that side of the table.
I wasn't going to sit. Wow, you think I was going to tell Opie anything about that wedding? You think I was going to suggest anything?
No, at the
with
table.
With the state of mind he was in before the wedding, the weeks before the wedding, he was Mistress.
I will say,
I was going to go, oh, by the way, I don't like my table.
Voss, they remind me of the seats that Voss got us for the Trump roast. Like, just behind the pillar, out of the way.
Yeah. Keep him out of the way. Yeah, rumor has it that
Anthony had to watch the reception on a screen because he couldn't see.
I couldn't see the actual reception. I watched it on a screen that was a delay. There's a delay on there. The seating chart was done just moments before the reception. Just moments before, they were still scrambling and figuring out who was going to be sitting where.
We should have been at the same table.
Yes.
Aunt and I should have been at the same table. But that was also because, like, for other people, too, not just us. Like, well, they wanted other people to have fun tables. And let's be honest, we're the big gets.
Yes, we are the big gets.
You're the biggest get. And in that rotten situation, I'm the second biggest.
No, I think we are just the big gets.
No, I would take it. Not even with false humility. I would take Anthony first. I would proudly take a second to Aunt. They wanted to spread us out a little bit, and they figured Ron and Fez, they probably could have spread a little bit too. They could have put Fez at one
Fez
table.
at another table. With Fez, it was like dining with the captain of a ship. He had that big beard on, that gray beard. He looked like he had to get up and steer the Titanic. He looked like the head of the White Star Line. His big beard. Yeah, Patrice's outfit. I gotta get back to that getup. Everybody was saying, I wonder what he's going to show up in, and he shows up wearing his hat, a fedora, like a velvet fedora, and some type of velvety suit jacket. And his girl showed up, and just bam. His girl is bam.
Yeah,
I know.
She's very sexy,
right? Sexy.
My wife was sitting right behind him. In the pew behind him, and she's going, look at her ass. My wife is,
She was Bonnie was commenting on
Bonnie couldn't
Patrice's
believe
ass.
how round and solid her ass is.
It's fair. I got to be honest. Even though it's Patrice's girl, I know her well enough to say it really is awe-inspiring.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I told him last night on the phone he has a perfect girlfriend.
He talks a lot about the fact that he doesn't deserve her in the pure physical sense. Like
Really?
Why is she? But then, yeah, exactly. I'm breaking new ground here. But then he starts talking about her place in the relationship and things, and people that listen to the show have heard it. It's just ridiculous that she's ever with him. Like, what type of self-esteem problem does she have that she stays with him when he just talks like that right in front of her?
He reminds her of somebody. He reminds her of a conflict she's working out in the past. And when that conflict gets worked out, we're going to have one sad fat man on our hands.
Like, I don't think he understands how good he has it.
Yeah.
He's
beautiful.
Look at her.
Yeah. He talks a great game, but the second she's gone, does he think he's going to be able to hook up again like that?
What didn't you like about his outfit? The fact that he should have been swinging a watch and had "Keep on Truckin'" written under him?
Yeah, he's zoot-suiting.
Meanwhile, at the church, as he's walking in, he sees all of us, the staff and everything in tuxes.
Yeah.
So he's surprised, and he's pointing and laughing at us.
Yeah.
in my nice three-piece tux, thank you, Keith. And then, Patrice shows up with his mustard tie on.
With a mustard-colored tie and his fedora.
I know.
And that, too, by the way, let's bring up gospel music. I was very taken by the selection of music in the church. I walked in. I was ready for a typical wedding, and white wedding. And I walk in to gospel music being sung by black gospel singers up in the balcony.
They were good, though. Their voices were great.
Rich, they all are.
They're musical people, Richard.
Yes, the singing, the gospel music.
It was Baptist music.
It was
what?
Baptist.
Gospel.
Yeah, Baptist, like a Baptist church.
Yes.
I can't even argue with you on that because I don't know.
There was we were on the floor.
Same thing.
And the choir was up, and they were good. I mean, they were up on there was a wraparound balcony around the entire church. It was really an odd-looking church, but very nice. And I was looking, because the whole gospel choir was looking over at the wedding at one point. And I said to whoever I was sitting next to that it looked like a court scene from the 1950s.
Yeah,
all the white people on the bottom and all the black people on top, because there was a time when they stopped singing.
Yeah. Patrice had a great point, too, about how it was a Catholic ceremony. So there was all the sadness and Jesus dying stuff and all that. But then with the gospel, it was like, and Jesus died for our sins. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. And you're like, it's kind of a weird juxtaposition going on here that I don't quite understand.
See, all the pictures in that church too were like Jesus being dragged with a. You guys got to let go because it's really depressing.
Oh, being a Jew in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
No, there's plenty of pictures of Jesus suffering in Catholic churches.
It's not a happy moment going there.
No, it's not meant to be. You're not supposed to feel good or happy when you leave church for some reason. They say it's a good spiritually uplifting thing, but you walk in there, and wherever you look, There is a gentleman just being nailed on the cross, carrying the cross. It's all about just suffering.
Yeah, it just,
yeah.
Why don't they show Christ in a Buick looking out the window with a smile?
Yeah, just kind of happy. Maybe some of the earlier days where he's building a table.
Yeah, on
just
the third,
feeling good about sanding the top
on
nicely.
the third tee.
Yes, on the third tee.
Here's Christ watching the Apostle Paul step into dog logs.
Yeah,
look at him
and just laughing with the apostles. One of the apostles falls down, and they just laugh. Walks into a glass door. Oh, there weren't any.
Oh, wow, we have...
Oh, look at that.
Oh, what is this music? 40 minutes later.
40 minutes later, and how about the gospel music? That would have been
gospel?
nice.
Why didn't
at
you put
the time.
gospel music?
Oh. Well, that would have
been perfect.
been fitting when I was talking about gospel music.
Yes.
Well, you know, Opie's not here to give a glaring look at Iraq of hatred and put the fear of God into him. Is this like the substitute teacher's in for you, Iraq? You're just going to F off all day? Because the real teacher isn't here?
Was looking for the song they were singing.
I think...
what do you think? All the listeners were at the church?
Yeah, they were all there and would have known.
I think Patrice was wearing the Suge Knight collection.
It did look very good. It did look very Suge Knight, very Suge Knight-ish. We must take a break.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back. And of course, the number 877-212-ONDA. O&A. 877-212-O&A if you want to call up. It's the Opie and Anthony program. Picking out my favorite bands on purpose? Yes. Hi, it's the Opie and Anthony show. Hello. Opie's on his honeymoon, so we're just kind of... We're here anywho. With Rich Voss standing in and Jimmy Norden.
Discussing the wedding.
Yeah, we were talking about Opie's wedding. Opie is he's married now. He's a married guy. And we were talking about the seating arrangements and how far away. I couldn't have been further away from the action. Like, I would think. I'm not, and I don't know how entirely unhappy I am with that, because I kind of like being in the back of the classroom kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I was so far away. It was a pretty big room. And I was so far away and behind structures that I couldn't see anything. Like when they were dancing for the first time, I had to get up out of my chair and peer around the pillar, and I still really couldn't see anything.
It was, I will honestly say, and without prejudice, I will say it's the best wedding I've been to, because there was a lot of cheesy stuff that wasn't done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. They kind of put the kibosh on some of the cheese.
Some of the stuff that makes you want to vomit at a wedding.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they would have served the dinner within 4 hours of our arrival.
that cheesy thing.
But aside from that, I mean, they really didn't. They didn't cheese it up, which I liked a lot.
You know what got me though? Ron Bennington from the Ron and Fez show. He was trying his best to bring cheese into it.
Was he?
Yeah, he at one point got a conga line going. Because no one at Opie's wedding was going to do the conga line.
No.
It's cheesy. It's stupid. It's so hack. And Ronnie just gets up and goes, "Come on, everybody!" He grabs some girl by the hips, and or Fez, one or the other, and started conga lining around the room. So he was trying his best to keep the cheese factor in it. But there was no the bride cuts the cake song.
No.
There was no garter thing.
Right.
Where they did the garter and then the throwing of the garter and all that happy horse crap.
No chicken dance.
Yeah.
Chicken dance.
Or slide.
Yeah, none of that cheesy crap. The music with the band
was great.
I felt like my old aunt. I kept saying the band's a little loud.
The band was playing nothing but like old music. They I don't know if they stepped it up, brought it into the 70s at one point, but it was mostly like 40s music.
They were good. They had good voices, I thought.
Of course you thought so.
Yes, we were in high school when those songs were written.
Yeah, no Cotton Eye Joe was being played, thank God. But yeah, it was a very typical of how I know Opie, that it was his wedding. Like, they turned the mics off during the exchange of the vows, which was a little odd, But that's Opie said. He goes, I just kind of want this private little moment thing going on here. You know, I didn't want to blast it out over the whole church. So you kind of just heard them kind of mumbling back and forth to each other.
I really wanted to hear the vows.
I so wanted to hear the vows.
Isn't that why you go? That's the main stuff.
Yes.
The church.
To hear the people lying to each other.
I know.
That's the best part. I promised it to you.
I said, I guess, I think, at mine. Do you?
Did you
Yeah.
say, I guess?
No, I said something dumb.
It was I was the best man at this last wedding. And there's one part where
At Rich's wedding.
Yes, Voss. Yes, Voss.
Lest people confuse and think you were the best man at Opie's.
No. Opie's best man was his brother Scott, who
Yes.
did a good job. He actually had a really good toast.
Yeah,
Nice
he
laugh
did.
in it. It was touching. It wasn't. It was very good. Nowhere near as quality as the toast I gave at Voss's, but I'm me. I'm kidding, of course. It was.
Of course.
It was. Voss had to repeat something. What was the woman? There was a woman who married. She's Canadian, and she looked like B. Arthur, and she married Voss and Bonnie. And I forget what she was called, but you had to repeat what she said. And his mushed mouth, incompetent and bumbling through what she said. Everyone in the wedding just kind of hated him for it, for his complete
Really?
inability.
The also at the church. Sorry, I got distracted. I had to send idiot on a mission. David.
5 people get up.
Yeah, there's somebody at the door that has to get in, and there you go. Oh my God.
He still didn't know.
Oh Jesus, no, he didn't. I showed him the text, and he didn't even read it. He walked. I just received a text saying I'm at the front door and can't get in because I don't have a card. So instead of interrupting the show, I thought I would continue, show the text to David so he could read it, and then realize someone had to go to the door. He passed by it and gave it a fleeting glimpse and kept walking. He is the dumbest of the dumb.
Who do you think you were showing it to? Sam, and who's 20 feet away?
Yes.
How's he going to read a little iPhone
Just
text?
is a moron.
I thought it was how you prayed. You wrote things down and held them up, and God read them. David's a boob.
But he thinks he's so important. He's walking.
Oh,
around.
I know.
It's almost he's walking around. I thought he was your boss for a second.
Yeah,
He walked
well, he
around.
will be eventually.
Could happen.
It is the media we work in.
So, what were we saying about the wedding? We were saying something about the wedding.
Yes, and of course we got thrown off track by David.
The toast.
Yeah.
The toast was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the toast was very nice, but I couldn't see that really either because I was behind a stone pillar. There was somebody else that brought. Yeah. Here was something that happened in the church. Brother Weeze was there.
Oh, yes.
Who obviously very important as far as Opie's career goes. We've heard about Brother Weeze for many years. He went up and did, I guess, the reading that goddamn letters to the Corinthians or from the Corinthians, whatever.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. But he went up, and the first thing he did, he gets up, and it's a long walk from the pew up to the microphone. He had to go all the way around the altar and everything. It took a while.
Yes.
And he finally reaches the little pulpit area with the microphone and grabs the sides of the podium and leans in and goes, "Is this on?" And it was like uber silence. It went beyond quiet. And yeah, all I feel about 3 minutes later is a vibration in my pocket, which is my iPhone. And I pull it out and check the text that came in, and it is from my pal Jimmy Norden. And it just says, "Is this thing on?" And then in quotes, "crash." And then the whole thing just turned into a texting match between the entire show staff.
Dude, somebody pointed out the laugh, and I'm sure Weeze would have laughed if somebody had a car crash on their phone and had played the car crash. And
right at that moment.
It would have been the biggest laugh you've ever heard anything get.
Because it was pure, unadulterated silence.
Church silence.
Church silence. Not even that little low mumbling in church silence. Everyone was completely just taken by the fact that was not funny.
It was so. All right, here's how I. You got to play this. Is how I should have went with the correct. All right, is this thing on? No. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, take two. And now with the reading of the letter from the Corinthians, Brother Wheeze. That's the walk up.
Yeah.
It's taking a while.
Is this thing on? A letter from Paul to the Corinthians.
He didn't know he was reading till he got there. He was sitting next to me.
Did he really not know?
He didn't
way.
know. I'm not lying. He didn't know he was
something
reading.
from the seating thing, I don't doubt it.
He didn't know he was reading.
I was getting scared that I was going to be, and now Anthony's going to come up and juggle.
Yes.
He said
a read off from a read off.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
From Mein Kampf?
No, of course. I was going to say a reading from Goebbels to the Corinthians. I said a read off because I'm talentless.
A reading from Hitler to his incompetent generals.
How dare you defy me? And then he goes and Anthony sits down again. Go ahead, sorry.
No, nothing. He was just looking at the, the what do you call it?
The program. There were programs that were handed out.
The program, and he saw his name, and he was like, and he had to open the show. I mean, he was like the first reader too.
Yeah, that was the big opener.
And it had to be scary. I mean, you're up top there. That wasn't like. I mean, he was up there like that's where the Pope probably goes when he's in town. That whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
He's a radio guy,
there.
dude. He's fine with reading. He probably just would like to have a little. He wasn't
a little notice maybe, and not something. It's just something about radio guys because I tried the same thing at some dopey awards show where you try to make a joke and it just doesn't work.
It was like watching one of your buddies. Because, his show is back on, by the way. They're back on at Rochester.
Yes.
It's funny that one of your friends makes a joke and it bombs. And it was just funny. It was like...
Oh, yeah.
It could have been any one of us that went up there and said something that bombed and would have been.
Yeah. But the only response we had was dead silence. We couldn't go like,
you couldn't.
Or a boo. So it was just this dead silence, which was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, because it's a church.
Yeah. Then we just started, like I said, just text bombing each other about everything in the church and the gospel. Of course, I had some comments about the gospel singers. Yeah, hoping none of those texts got intercepted.
But it was for a church ceremony. It was Ope looked pretty together. Like I'll say this, I didn't know how he was going to be. Like he looked a little.
Could tell he was nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah.
But better than I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
And once it was over. Once we got to because we actually went back to the hotel for a little while. It was the Ritz-Carlton in Philly. And from the church, we had like a 2-hour time to get cocktails or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or some of us got massages with releases. That's what some of us did. Yeah,
I wonder who those people were.
Some of us had at 6:15 to be down at the reception by 7. Had a massage girl come in, and by 6:58, we're cleaning things out of their belly button, going, "I gotta go, Kenny, get up here. I don't know how to fix my cummerbund."
With his smelly chlorine-smelling cummerbund.
Yeah, I had no idea how to fix it.
Squishing out of the top like space food.
Yeah. So it was that was what I did on my little break.
Yeah.
And I forget what I was going to say.
Yeah, we were all gathering at the hotel for. Oh, that's okay. Just sign that. I don't know what that is.
What is he signing?
Danny just.
So, he's handed me my breakfast order.
Joe's new.
Dude, you're in the middle of the.
You come around this
way. Me and Ed are talking, and the new intern.
He stepped right in the middle of our conversation.
Just walks in the middle of our conversation. I don't.
How do you have a?
I'm not saying that we should be revered as saints, but.
Yes, but, we are conversing on a national radio show here.
I don't know why I don't know.
How do you guys get...
Why would Paco from Bad Boys walk right in the middle?
How do you get 40-year-old interns? You guys got to be, like, in his 30s,
We
right?
got it.
Nothing like that.
No.
I'm sorry.
He really doesn't look all that old.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe I should...
He first tried to explain... No, that's why I didn't laugh.
Yeah,
If he looked old, I would have laughed, Rich.
All right, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
I
talking
like the
about.
fact that Voss said in his 40s and no one laughs. He went, because he looks like he's in his 30s.
Oh, looks like, you know. Does he?
Yeah, I mean, he could be in his 20s. He just keeps going backwards.
Yeah, we went back into the reception was at the Ritz-Carlton, so there was a small room that we were supposed to go into to have drinks, but we decided to go to the bar because it was better selection.
Yeah.
We need, a few of the people I was with, like Danny and whatnot. We need our booze. Need our booze. So we went in there and started our drinking immediately following the ceremony, even though the reception wasn't going to start for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we started drinking.
It really was an event.
Yeah, well, the whole weekend was, especially for us, because I went to the Borgata before the wedding. We took a car down to the Borgata to do a little gambling, which gambling, I assume gambling means there's a chance you're going to win. So I didn't do gambling. I made a giant contribution to the new wing over at the Borgata.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Didn't get any better?
Oh. Hey, Opie didn't get a gift. That's how bad it was. I used every last dime I had on me, and the bag that I had Keith guarding oh so much on the way in was just tossed on top of the rest of the baggage on the way out.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, they cleaned me out pretty good. And then I was smart. I went back after the wedding, hoping to make it all back.
Sure,
that's what gamblers do.
Of course, and wow, didn't quite do that either.
Did you get any of it back?
It's like
no.
Did you give more away?
Oh yeah.
It's like walking into the cell. I'll show him for what he did, and then it happens.
Yeah. I'm going to show him. Yeah, they might have got me on the way in, but I'll get them on the way back. Wow, the dealers were magical. If I had a 20, they were pulling up 21s. There was a hand in particular where if you get dealt a couple of 2s and the dealer has a 4 showing, you split your 2s.
See, well, I may sound like a novice gambler.
Yes, Jimmy.
But
yes,
if that happens, can you yell "Deuces Wild"? I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Yes,
And
see? That's a secret. Most people don't know. And then you call them 3s.
Yes. You
do something stupid.
You yell "Deuces Wild" and you pick him up and you run around the table going...
See, no one knew that.
What happened when you split your deuces?
Well, you split your deuces because the deal's showing a 4, and you're thinking he's going to break,
Yeah.
So you split the deuces, and another deuce comes out. So now, when you split your deuces, you got to put up another bet.
Yeah.
You double your bet. So you got to put down another one. And then when you split again, because the third deuce comes up, you put up the bet again. Now the card comes out on top of the first deuce. It's a 10. So there's a 12.
That's not good.
That's not very good at all. Then the second card comes out. It's a 10. There's another 12. The third card comes out. It's a 9. Now you have 11. So you place now a fourth bet down on this disaster because you have an 11 and double down. Now you get one card. But since you have an 11, odds are a 10 comes out and you have 21. What comes out?
Wait, and hold on. You double down on
an 11.
On 11.
On the one bet.
Yeah.
So you have
two 12s.
Two 12s and an 11. So the 11 you double down on.
Yes. 4 bets going now.
Double down. Now there's 4 of the original bet is on that table. And an ace comes out, making the third and final 12. But, hey, no.
You could have made it 22.
Hope isn't lost.
Oh.
Hope isn't lost because the dealer has a 4 showing. So that's, under normal circumstances, they would turn over that 10, have a 14, turn over another 10, bust, and I win all my 4 bets. But, of course, the dealer turned over a 6, making a 10, and then the ever-present and all-knowing king comes out to give the dealer a 20.
That's great. So you got a 22, and they had a 20. You win.
See, it doesn't quite work that way.
Oh.
That was how every hand went. Every hand. And boy, was I letting the dealer and everybody in the area know that I was not happy with the way I was being dealt.
Were you being a sore sport?
I was being what they call a sore loser. At one point, Keith was looking for me after I stormed off in anger. Keith was looking for me, and he went into the high roller area and stepped up to the top of the stairs, and everyone just turned around and went, "He's not here!" Like they all knew I wasn't there because it was quiet, and they were all like, "If you find him, don't bring him back here," kind of a thing.
Did the casino want you back there?
Well, of course. But the people, I kind of turned into whiny Anthony when
whiny spitting Anthony.
Yes, at one point, some poor gentleman whose only job it is to polish the floors at the Borgata for probably minimum wage was polishing the floor at the exit way to the high roller section. And as I walked out, I made a point of spitting right in front of him on the floor. I spit on the floor in front of him and gave him a look like, "Yeah, clean it up."
Were you trying to help him polish the floor?
Yes, a spit shine. Yeah, you should see the way they used to call him Spit Shine Sammy.
Makes the floor to Borgata like mirrors.
Like mirrors. You love it. Now go get your broom. Go get your shine spit.
Was the dealer when he was busting you?
Yeah.
Was he making a face like, "Oh, I wish you were winning"?
Dude, if they had an emotion, those people that deal, it would be one thing. But they're emotionless monsters. They're cyborgs. They have no emotion. So I lost and felt very poorly during the time I was leaving. But I get over it quickly. I rationalize it like, well, what was I going to buy? A car. Oof. Yeah. We got to take another break.
All right.
But, just hours more of merriment, so don't go anywhere. What's that number again? It's a 1-877-212-ONA. That's what you got to call. 877-212-6263. We'll be back with more of the Opie and Anthony Show. Good morning, Opie and Anthony Show. Here with Jimmy Norton, of course. My compadre, my compatriot, my comrade. And Rich Voss, the guy we get when we can't get another comic.
They got to the V's, and I guess.
That's right. After you, it was Ted Willison who was going to come in.
I'll be at Bananas in Cincinnati, Ohio this weekend. Go Bananas! Go Bananas, Cincinnati, Ohio, and that's a negative and a very derogatory statement towards me.
You're right.
And
sorry.
And I just want the people to know: come to the show, I kill. You'll never see the same show twice with Rich Voss. And
Rich is very funny on stage and on the show. I hate when we say that on stage. That's kind of
Well, I don't care about the show.
Derogatory.
I know, but that's all right.
We know you just got to get the plugs out. It's okay.
No, I just know who's in Cincinnati. I just figured I'd throw something out. I'm not going to say.
What are you going to do? Go on WKRP when you're there?
Oh, good gravy. That's not a real station.
Oh,
gravy.
It is now.
Is it?
Yeah, there was some local story I was listening to over the weekend.
Have we been thrown off of that one, too?
Probably.
Oof.
If you see Mr. Carlson there, can you ask him how Dudley's doing? I'd love to give that kid a bath. You remember that?
Oh, Uncle Jimmy. Didn't even try for the voice, did you?
No.
Now you're just creepy Jimmy.
But do you remember in Different Strokes, the guy that played Mr. Carlson on WKRP?
Oh, yeah.
Played the creepy guy who tried to give Arnold's friend Dudley a bath.
Yes, that was during the very special episode where they were trying to bring some education on kids and the danger that creepy old men. Oh, look at him! He's singing into? We're watching it right now. He's singing into Spatula, and he's putting on a VCR, a little videotape for the kids to watch. And I guess it's going to be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Probably some type of porno. Oh, that's funny.
They're all laughing.
Yeah. Now look what happens.
Wow, they're shocked.
Oh, yeah.
It's video of a liver transplant. Gary Coleman is shocked.
I got to see that. Maybe we should pull some audio from that one.
Yeah, let's do that.
That looks like it could be funny. Like that whole scene right there looks pretty interesting.
Oh, he's got his arm around little Dudley.
He likes a little interracial NAMBLA relationships there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's a lot like a DJ we knew.
He certainly is.
Hey, Mark here. Yeah, well, I brought it up, but apparently we're not on in Boston. Hi, how you doing? Hey, how about that tidbit of news? Yeah, I guess more cutbacks, and they cut us back to not being there anymore. So arrivederci, Boston. Bye-bye, BCN.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody that used to listen to us on BCN. They're not hearing this unless, of course, they have some type of satellite. But, wow. Yeah. I don't know who to blame anymore. The economy just stinks on ice.
Yes.
They're cutting back on everything. They ran out of people to fire as far as the staff goes, like salespeople and suits, engineers, everything else that's kept the broadcast companies going. So now they decide, let's take the afternoon show that's over there in Boston, Toucher and Rich, put them in the morning, and then get some poor slob that makes nothing, put him in afternoons to spin records, and they're saving money. So that's the day and age we live in as far as radio goes, which I don't, what do I know? I'm just on the medium, but I think it's a bad idea. I think it's one of these, not just because it affects, me. I'd like to still be on BCN, of course, but it's one of those things where you keep cutting back on the product, and no one's going to purchase the product anymore. And if you keep cutting back on the talent end of the radio, more and more people are going to tune away. The reason it's in the crapper now is because people are going away. They're going to other forms of entertainment, whether that's, satellite or their iPods, iPhones, phones with MP3 players, any kind of device that plays video, audio. There's a multitude of gadgets that people can get their hands on to program their own radio station. The Internet, which used to be silly as far as getting music off of, is now one of the top mediums for getting your music from. And that's what people are doing. And radio seems to think the answer to that is to just keep cutting back and saving money. Well, they're just backing themselves into a corner. So that's where we stand as far as Boston goes. They've pulled us off. It's not a temporary move as far as we know. It's permanent, and we're no longer the morning show over there at BCN. So Godspeed, Toucher and Rich. Have fun.
Yeah, those guys are...
I don't mind. What am I going to do? Yell at the guys that got the gig? No, I like those guys. They're cool, so... Whatever.
It's the quick fix, man. No one looks towards the future.
No, it's all knee-jerk reactions in the business. That's how the market goes up and down crazy. It's all knee-jerk crap that people do, and the radio industry is complete knee-jerk. Let's do this. We got to do this. What you got an idea? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. And then they do it, and then 6 months later they realize it didn't work, and they're changing it again. So who knows? But believe me, when Opie finds out, it's going to be a different reaction.
Yeah.
I'm kind of go with the flow Anthony. That's what they call me. Old go with the flow Anthony. It's all I don't care, pay me Anthony. But Opie will be a little more angry. He's probably listening, finding out right now, too.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Yep.
Not on there. Sorry.
I was irritated when I walked in.
Completely irritated.
Aunt told me, because I love being on in that market, but it's like, I don't know. I should be more irritated. But it's like, what are we going to do?
I was kind of expecting it just with the way things are going at the CBS. It's been, it's no secret. It's been a bloodbath. We were just, not celebrating, just giving a little goodbye party to a guy that was here for 41 years. And they cut him loose before pension time. It's just we're in such a crappy situation, and the corporations really, they're not humans. They're machines. They're consortiums of people that make it up. So they don't have they're like the Terminator. They don't have emotions. They can't be reasoned to or bargained with. They just will keep chasing you until they blow your head off.
And they, I'm sure they don't like the fact that, let's just say the show has been very adamant about certain feelings about certain moves. I'm sure that they.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I'm sure they don't like that either. Their whole thing has been local. That's what local means is cheap. That's what local means. Yeah, we're into local programming. The listeners really seem to like hearing their local traffic and weather and hearing local people that have been to the ballparks that they talk about. No, they don't. They just want to be entertained, and they don't care where it comes from. People like Letterman and Leno prove that by having a national audience. If it's entertaining, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Right.
The thing is, local equals cheap. If you're syndicating a show based out of New York City, it's going to cost you more than getting some local yokel from Cleveland. So it's cheaper, and that's what they do. So they move shows around. They get rid of the show that and believe me, we're not making a fortune there. We took pretty big cuts just to be on in some of these terrestrial markets. It's one of those deals where they just keep cutting and cutting, and then they get rid of the show that's making some money, and then they throw in some guy that's just going to spin records. And what's that going to do? Is that going to bring the ratings up? Old-fashioned spin records and talk radio? I mean,
nobody.
The only commodity left is open forums for people to talk. Talk radio. That's like a commodity you can't just download from somewhere like you can music. You need a show, people that can talk, carry on a conversation with other people, trade ideas, throw out some controversy. That stuff captivates people. Not, a song you've heard 80 times punctuated with a liner and a commercial. But what do I know? I'm just on the air, so screw me.
Yep.
But none of them get fired. I don't understand.
Well, the corporate end of it is a lot different than the the lower echelon, which includes the talent. The corporate end, for some reason, there could be 20 redundant jobs at the upper level, at the suit level. They're the last ones to go, and they're the ones that's not the product. For some reason, the people that put out the product and put out a better product and make the product more appealing, they're the first ones that go. And then the people that are the bean counters and make these horrid decisions, they're the last people to go.
Because they're not going to say, well, I'm basically valueless.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys dump me and save $250K a year?
Exactly. They're the people that do the firing. They're not going to fire themselves. You'd be stupid to. I understand how it works.
It's like Congress. They give themselves their own raises.
Yeah, they give themselves raises.
Huh? Themselves, I said. They give themselves.
They give themselves.
They give themselves raises.
And even in the midst of your passionate moment.
How many raisins?
That's a great gig.
Yeah.
Why doesn't somebody say, hey, you know what? Let's put out the best product we can, take a little hit right now, and build towards the future? And that's...
well, that seems to be... an idea that they just haven't thought of. It's all old school ideas. It's ideas that they've been using for years, that have worked for years, but times changed. There is so much information and entertainment out there now. It used to be you got up and changed your channel on your television, and when you got in your car, you turned on your radio, and that was it. It wasn't when people walked around on the streets, they actually maybe talked to each other. They hit a payphone. Now there's just people with earbuds in, and they're listening to. They're not listening to commercial radio. They're listening to their own programming that they made on their computers. So it's a weird time that we're in, a transitional time that I think radio really has to step up to and address and do something with. They can't use this old school idea of just making cuts because it's not going to come back. It's not strictly economic based. The economy of radio stations suck because they've failed to address this multitude of entertainment that's out there.
Well, and it's like if so many stations are having trouble, and it's not like the stations are doing great and the show's not doing well, because that's like, all right, whatever. There's certain markets you don't do well in, you get the boot. That's life. But it's like when you watch every format change flopping. It's like, well, music doesn't suck. It's obviously that people are doing other things as well, so you have to adjust somehow.
Right.
And they're not adjusting. They're just panicking and go, that doesn't work, and then go into something else.
Yeah.
So will you relax?
Yep.
Stop panicking.
Well,
if you see some of these moves that they make, the corporate guys, just based on panic and based on trying to save their own jobs, it's hysterical to watch. It's not that far off from shows like The Office. It really isn't. That's how things are really run, which is kind of frightening.
Do you think it would help if you guys did traffic?
Yeah, local. We got to keep it local, apparently. Ugh.
Well, I mean, if you want to do traffic, I don't know what Atlantic City traffic will be like in Martin Luther King weekend, January 15th, but I'll be down there at the Borgata, just in case we're off the air before then. I'll throw that one out there.
What happens when you're down there and Anthony comes up for a loan? Because
I will not be going. You could stay in the Kumia suite that they've built with the money. That
I would love to have you there for my weekend, celebrating Dr. King's birthday.
Oh, yes.
I would like to have you there.
I would go for. I play poker, and I'd go for a certain flush every time.
How can you not shoot craps?
Wait. I'd gamble with you.
Would you?
Yeah, I would actually.
Oh.
Yeah, just at a different table.
Yeah.
Not at the high rollers.
Yeah, please.
It'd be a massage table. Once you start playing craps, you'll never play blackjack again.
I've heard about craps, and I don't know.
Listen.
Just don't know how to play it.
Learn how to play it.
No.
You could win so much money. It's so exciting.
Play that.
It's the most exciting game ever invented. It's what brought me to my knees. That and
another man.
And your drug days.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to get a piece of crack.
What didn't bring you to your knees? I don't mind. You spent a lifetime crawling.
Something that looked delicious, flesh-colored.
Exactly. Believe me, if the holes in the booth were higher, you wouldn't be on your knees. Fortunately, they're at waist level.
Yeah, so, no, my gambling, I have to actually, and it's not one of these, oh, my God, I got to. I hadn't been gambling in a while. I went. I took a hit, so now I'm going to curtail it for a while, and then in a few months I'll go back. But I'm not one of those guys that are in casinos every weekend. Believe me, I kind of like being able to purchase things.
Yeah. Well, don't act like you don't have a problem. Don't act like I'm. I only mug people once in a while.
I spend what I can afford.
Yeah, but it's
I don't have a problem.
Well, how do you? It's how you. Yes, spitting on the floor after you lose.
An anger. I have an anger problem with gambling. I don't have an anger problem with other. I have traffic. I have an anger problem. But it's not as bad as it used to be. I do have a road rage issue, but I've calmed that way down. Now I just look and yell out a racial epithet to myself, and I'm back on track. Gambling, yes, I do have an anger problem with gambling. It's not physical. It's purely verbal, and I guess spit is physical. But I don't spit on people. I spit on the floor. I punch the chair. I've smacked Keith in the shoulder very hard and turned around and gone, because I want to go, look at this crap that just happened. But, I guess I got to calm that down a little bit. It just hurts to lose a nice big hand that you were counting the money. You were counting the money.
These are the worst justifications I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I spit on the floor and I punch chairs.
Yeah.
It's not like they're old people.
Here's your test. When Jimmy's working in Atlantic City, you go down to spend a lovely weekend and see if you can go without gambling. Just hang out for a weekend.
No, why would I go there without gambling?
To see your friend and spend a nice weekend in a nice suite.
Yeah.
Have some nice dinners, and go to the show. Maybe introduce them or something, whatever.
Or set a limit like I do. I set myself a $200 limit on the video poker. Now watch that they hear me say this to Anthony, they fire me.
Yeah.
We don't need you, sissy.
Look at you chasing off our high roller.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't want to go there if I'm not going to gamble. It's like, what Jimmy's going to go to a certain type of massage parlor and just say, just massage me?
Absolutely.
That's true. See, I quit gambling. See, now Bonnie thinks this is gambling. So I quit, but like Mega Millions.
Marrying you?
Well,
it's already a loss.
Gamble, of course. There's no gamble on that. Gamble is maybe it won't suck.
Mega Millions is like 100
chip teeth.
No. So I pick the numbers on the Mega Millions.
Yeah.
I pick them, but I give her the cards, and she goes in and she plays them with her money.
That's not.
That's
really
not gambling for me.
Casino gambling.
No, but I'm saying she thinks I'm still gambling.
Oh, no, that is. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
it is not.
Yes, it is.
How is it gambling? I'm not
How is it
spending
not?
my money, and I'm
So
not going.
what?
I'm just picking numbers. That's like saying
if you can tell yourself anything.
It's like an alcoholic.
If I pour a drink for somebody,
no, she's pouring the drink for you, holding it and putting it in your mouth. Because the end result is you're the one that will get the payoff if it pays off.
Well, then I don't care if it wins. Then I don't care if I'm gambling
Then
again.
how about this? If it's not gambling, if you played a card game where you guys all had a bunch of chips, right, but they were valueless, and you're betting valueless chips, that's still gambling, right?
I don't think so.
Is it?
Not
Valueless
for money.
chips.
Sure. You're just not gambling for money.
You're gambling for the thrill because a lot of times.
Of course, because gamblers.
But there is no thrill without the loss, the potential loss of something.
Sure, there is.
So
Then you're saying
if there's no value to the chips, then there's no gambling because you're not getting excited about the prospect of winning or losing.
Hold on. You can still get excited about the prospect of beating people, or of being good at cards.
You're not beating them out of anything meaningful.
So then you can't say that's like saying you can't play Monopoly because you're still playing against somebody.
See, there you go.
But you know the difference. You know what I'm talking about. Like you know, you can spell it however you want. You know that, like, if you're
O'Doul's is if you drink O'Doul's, you're still an alcoholic.
There is actually alcohol in it. There's a minuscule amount.
Yeah,
but there is actually in there. And to me, anyone who's quote unquote sober drinking O'Doul's is drinking, even though it's
really.
Yeah.
Well, see that.
What about a Shirley Temple?
There's no alcohol in that at all.
See, but
Well,
it
that's
looks
different.
like a drink.
Doesn't matter.
And you're drinking.
No, you're not. Well, I mean,
you're getting the feeling like you're drinking something.
No, you're not. There's no effect from alcohol.
Well, then there's no effect when you're gambling with worthless chips.
But there is, though. Like, if we were playing,
that's the alcohol of gambling is the worth of the chips, the proof of the chips.
Nah, because if you were playing like for nickels, even though that's a minor amount of money, you wouldn't have any real investment in whether you won or lost.
You actually do feel better playing with nickels than you do playing with nothing for funsies.
Yes.
Yeah, but playing for funsies, you still have it's still gambling, even though it's not financial.
Wow, I can't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that. Because, like, if I was playing golf against somebody and they said the next hole, I bet you nothing, I win. Well, there's nothing on it.
Yeah, but again, there's a difference, and you know that.
Jimmy's talking about the gambling dry hump.
Yeah,
which is it's not satisfying.
And maybe it's yeah.
You're not satisfied. You're left chafed and in pain.
All right. How about this one? You're dating a girl, and she just dry humps somebody. Are you going to go, well, you didn't cheat at all?
No, I'd get excited and tell me more.
I want my chips back. Yeah, that's an interesting proposition, but I'll stick to gambling for money. When, money I can actually disposable income, which I really disposed of, so I can buy other things like what I purchased. I had a couple of major purchases over the vacation, one of which is typical that people will probably understand, one of which is something that I don't think you guys know about, that I will break here on the air.
Okay, so one is typical, and one is one that we'll be surprised at.
Yes.
All right, let me guess before we go to break. A German tank.
Close.
And an Obama button.
Wow, you would be surprised at that. No. But we got to take a break. And wow, what a tease that was. I'll let you know after 3 more breaks. No. I'll let you know after we take another break. We'll be right back. The Opie and Anthony Show.
Get.
Hi. Got a piece of melon stuck in my throat. That's always fun. Good morning. Opie and Anthony Show. Yeah, we're back from our little Thanksgiving vacation. What'd you did, Jimmy? Did you go with the family? Did you do the family Thanksgiving?
No. I did a show in Vegas, which was great. I flew back the morning of Ope's wedding, went to the wedding, and then for every other day I lived like a junkie, and I slept I went to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 4 in the afternoon, got nothing done. I was actually looking forward to getting back to work so I could begin to do things again.
Yeah.
I did nothing. I was a junkie I went to Patrice's house for Thanksgiving. Since I've known in my life with breasts, I went to his house and then Bob Kelly's, my two male friends that have them. Yeah,
Jesus.
But it was nice. Patrice can cook his ass off. His mom was there, his chick, and a bunch of his uncles, and a bunch of comedians. It was fun, man. I actually had a really good time. Patrice cooked some really good food.
Did he fry the turkey?
What's that?
Did he fry?
I heard
the
you.
turkey?
And then I went to Bobby Kelly's house and I ate some pumpkin pie. I went home and cried looking at Craigslist.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Aww.
Tired of stuffing the turkey? Call me. A few of those hooker things.
Wow, they're funny too.
Yeah, believe me. You got to look at the prostitute Thanksgiving. Whenever there's a holiday, look at the prostitutes ads. They're a real hoot. I guess that's it. I didn't do anything. I got to wish this girl who's Nora on Pal Talk. Apparently she's sick. A lot of people are.
Yes. She's in the hospital. She had a little problem.
She gonna live?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was pretty serious, but just wish her the best.
All right, good luck. We heard you're not feeling well, so
I'll talk.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
You know, when you see people in little squares every day, you kind of build up a little relationship.
Was Nora one of the ones that would show her breasts?
I don't remember.
All right. Well, if you are one of the ones who would flash and show your breasts, Godspeed, Nora. If you were one who wouldn't, well, if you get better, good. And if a dirt nap's in your future, it's God's will.
Jesus.
It's up to God.
What did the Jew do on Thanksgiving?
We
thanks.
Yeah, we had a big. Bonnie made a nice dinner, and we invited people over, but only 2 showed up. People canceled.
Oh.
Well, we didn't. Well, we actually said to the 2 people that were coming over. Gary Goldman came over and his girlfriend, and we said, bring
the
one or 2
Goldmans.
bring 1 or 2 people, and we had tons of food and.
Good food, plenty of it.
Yeah, it
sounds
was,
like a bore fest. Okay.
I'm not really
liked by anyone.
I'm not
apparently.
I don't get all crazy over these holidays anymore. I don't know.
Well,
for the kids, I do.
You got like kids.
That's what I do. Is buying them stuff on Christmas and whatever. But
sure, you really go all out.
I do. I go crazy. What do you kidding me? I already started buying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you get? What do you get your kids? Do you get
no,
them,
I mean
like,
for me, I started buying.
Stuff? Yeah.
No, I get them. I bought my daughter a car.
I can only imagine used, right?
Oh,
off of eBay.
No, I got it at the auction from the dealer at the auto auction.
Oh my God!
It's a really nice car. It's a Mazda something. Got a number after it.
Probably the police took it. It was probably using an Amber Alert. They had to hose out the back. Creepy car.
I get the baby. I get her stuff, but I return it. But I videotape her with it, so when she gets older, I can go. No, you had everything.
All right, that's funny.
Part of my act. I do with my act. Oh God, I feel like. Anyhow, but no, I get them. The other day I bought her a little fire truck and a rocker, a little horsey rocker and stuff. Whatever.
Did you do anything for Black Friday, the big shopping day after Thanksgiving? That's the day everybody goes shopping.
Yeah, trample someone to death.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently tramples people to death.
How great is that?
When I saw it, I'm like, oh boy, here it is. Here it is. These greedy stores and a bunch of animals lined up. There's a story right now. They're doing it on. It was a Walmart out on Long Island. Not one of the more desirable places on Long Island. I'll tell you that, because when they showed the video of the people standing out front, they looked pretty unruly.
Well, they couldn't go back the next day. They didn't have, they thought really XXX was going to sell out in one day. They couldn't go get their horrible clothing for $2.
That's the
Walmart
biggest thing.
Doesn't sell out.
No one understands why people line up at 4 in the morning or earlier to get stuff they can absolutely get later in the day when the crowd dies down. You don't have to wait online. You don't have to rush the door like a lunatic and trample the employees. But for some reason, they were lined up, and there were thousands of people lined up at this Walmart looking to get deals on like bad flat screen TVs and like All-Star TV. It's not even like a Sony or Panasonic. They got some crappy TV.
Etch-a-Sketch TV.
Yeah, it's in HB. I don't know what that is, but it's very close to HD.
Hey, look, Devil's advocate here. I think he might have had it.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Where can I get online for some shoe platform?
They ran me over, and you can see my little shoe lifts.
And then my wig.
Somebody slipped in my Emilio Estevez wig and fell down. He was supposed to open the doors at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And at 5:03,
oh, boy.
Mr. Tardy walks over.
Well.
And gets his comeuppance.
And he deserved it, I guess, is what Jimmy's saying, for being 3 minutes late, for letting them in. The people, by the way, after this man is trampled and he's laying there and other employees are trying to get to him to help him, the people online were upset. They were upset that they weren't able to get in and shop because they stopped the line so they could maybe save this guy's life, which they tried, but he wound up dying. But these animals were still trying to get in and complaining to the people in the store that I've been here since 4 a.m. I want to get in and shop.
They ran over a cop. They were trampling the cops.
Were they?
I think so.
I don't think they were.
I think they were. No, they were.
I think it was a store employee.
Yeah.
And
a pregnant woman got trampled.
A pregnant woman got trampled
8
over.
months pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, we know who paid for that.
That's wonderful.
Well, they were trying to. They didn't want to come out and say, "Look, we know a guy's dead. We don't care." So they were trying to use like psychology. They're like, "Look, we have to keep the store closed because somebody died," and they're like, "Well, I mean, he's dead. That's terrible, but letting us shop.
I gotta get. It's Christmas shopping.
Keeping the store closed is not going to bring him back to his loved ones. Wouldn't he want us to keep shopping?"
I don't think they would have sounded that logical and reasonable, to tell you the truth.
Probably not.
I think it just would have been some sounds and some more violence.
I think
it should have been security there. These stores love these publicity stunts where they line people up, throw the doors open, and have this huge influx of shoppers. But what happens is a lot of times people do get trampled. I was watching a bunch of videos last night, laughing my ass off. You don't realize how many times this happens where people don't get killed but get really hurt. There was one woman falls down, this big fat woman falls down, and her weave falls out of her head, and she's scrambling, trying to grab her hair and put it back on her head and get up as she's just being stomped on. I was howling. It was so funny.
How barbaric are people, though? Like, because somebody stepped on a guy's face and then kept running to the electronics aisle.
Yeah. I need a TV.
Like, they're running. They're going, oh, my God, stomach, neck, face. I got to get that sweater. And they kept going. What's wrong with people?
Yeah. Well, now, of course, the authorities are stepping in. They want to legislate against these publicity stunt-type things that they do where people line up and just run into the stores. Look, there it is. There is, boy, there's the woman whose hair falls off. Look at her grabbing her hair, puts her hair back on. Oh, it was remove your hair day at Walmart.
I mean, some guy helped her up, though.
She is crying in a wheelchair. Oops.
There's a lawsuit.
Sorry.
I think, what was Walmart's response to the guy? He should have went to college.
They,
Christ plus.
They were, what they're going to do is hire a couple off-duty cops or hire a couple of uniformed cops and make the line and let them in X amount of the time. That's what you got to do.
Well, I've seen other videos, too, at Best Buys and other stores where they do have police officers there. They line the people up. They make sure it's not this crush against the doors. Is what happened here is that they were crushing against the doors and broke the glass on the doors, and then they just started crawling through the cracked doors, and I guess this guy was trying to hold him back or something. Oops.
The crowd was apparently chanting, "Push the doors."
Yeah,
push the doors.
Push the doors.
Yeah.
Push the doors.
And they were trying to actually open the doors before they could unlock them.
Yeah, that's the new chant as opposed to Obama, Biden. As opposed to...
Yes, we can.
Well, yes, we can. Time for change. Push the doors. It just is a despicable act by some despicable people. I hope Walmart's very proud and very happy with themselves. What can't you get at Walmart that you got to line up and just
I know.
run in like
Don't
that?
sell albums with certain lyrics or offensive adult content on them at Walmart.
No, that might kill somebody.
Yeah.
What?
So what did you buy?
Oh, yes, my purchase. Actually, I bought a brand new firearm, of course.
Is that the part that we're shocked at?
No. This would be the part that is obvious. It's not the one that I talked about a mere week or so ago when I bought what is dubbed an assault weapon by liberals, Democrats, and Obama. That I bought a couple of weeks ago. I finally got a Desert Eagle. There is a picture of it. It is a 50 caliber handgun. It shoots 50 caliber rounds. There is a sheet that comes with it that tells you how not to shoot it.
Why? Is this going to push you back? It's that powerful?
You don't one-hand it. It says, don't limp wrist this gun. And you're not even supposed to absorb the shock like normal with your elbows. How in the movies you shoot the gun, your elbows bend up. You're supposed to lock your elbows and absorb the shock with your shoulders and body. Because this thing will F you up. There are some videos, again on YouTube and other various sites, of people firing this weapon and hurting themselves. One is this of the young woman that gave it a whirl? Yeah. Yes. Here's a skinny little waif dressed in combat fatigue pants, a little bikini top, and her loving boyfriend has just handed her a 50 caliber Desert Eagle for her to fire. And this is the power that this gun has as you watch her shoot, and the gun, in all its might, flings back and hits her right in the head. Barrel first, by the way. She could have blown her head off because the barrel, it wasn't the top of the barrel, it was the actual part where the bullet comes out. Hit her square in the forehead.
Wow.
That's why you got to lock your hands together. Look, it slips out of one of her hands and just smacked her right in the face.
I'll shoot it with one hand.
Oh, yeah? You one-hand that thing,
Yes.
Jimmy? They call him One-Hand Jimmy.
They certainly do.
So now Keith got one, too, because it was his birthday present from July. It took that long for this. It's an Israeli weapon.
Are you giving out birthday presents from July?
Well, that was what I did, yes, for
That's
Keith.
when my
Well,
birthday
Keith is my
was.
personal assistant. So I got him the same one I got. It's a shiny nickel finish Desert Eagle, 50 caliber. It also comes with a barrel for a .357 Magnum and a .44 and the 50 cal. So now Keith was going to go to the range, and then he sends me a text last night. He goes, what do you think we go after your show today, and we start off with the .357, then we go to the .44, then we do the 50 so we don't look stupid at the range? And I was like, yeah, I was kind of thinking that. But now I'm thinking it might look a little wussy to get in there with a Desert Eagle and not just blast off the 50 cal and look like men.
But the Desert Eagle's top notch. You're saying the 50 cal is...
The 50, no, I'm saying the Desert Eagle, there's no reason for it. It is probably amongst the most useless weapons on the face of this planet, but you want to have one just to have it because it's such a big, heavy, the thing weighs about 5 pounds.
It's got to be hard to aim, right?
It's very hard to aim because it's so heavy, and you're so concentrating on the kick that it's going to have that you're kind of afraid to shoot it for the first time. And it's a very heavy gun, so it's hard to hold steady when you're aiming. The muzzle flash that comes out of this thing is astounding. It's more a showpiece. It's just kind of these, hey, I want one, I'm going to get one. So I decided me and Keith should have these to go down to the range and just annoy people with the loudness of 50 caliber rounds, even through the headphones.
What's like one bullet cost for something like that?
It's let me see, a box of
I
believe 20 was $50.
20 bullets is $50?
They're very expensive bullets.
You can shoot that in no time.
And then Keith went, because I was able to pick mine up first. I had all the paperwork done. Keith was working, so he had to go down there. So I paid for it and everything. He just had to go pick it up. So he goes to pick it up, and then he texts me. He goes, "They just told me somebody bought up all the .50 caliber ammunition in the store." He goes, "Whoa, who was that?" I said, "Yes, it was me. I bought every .50 caliber round that the gun store had."
How many was that?
You should see my closet. I don't know, but it took a couple of trips. My closet is an armory at this point.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I like to be safe.
Who's coming after you? Sosa's people? You into Scarface?
Because Sosa said so. No, you never know if zombies. You ever see a zombie movie? They run out of ammo quick. You got to hit them in the head. I just like having a lot of guns and a lot of ammo before Obama decides we shouldn't have guns and ammo.
Do you have a machine gun? Like a little Uzi?
I'm not allowed to have a machine gun. People aren't allowed to have machine guns.
Oh.
You can't have a fully automatic. Now, they call them automatic weapons. Obama's looking to ban automatic handguns, which is nothing but a semi-automatic. You're still pulling the trigger every time. It just automatically racks and cocks itself. Yeah, as fast as you pull the trigger. So he wants those banned. I guess he wants everybody to just have a revolver and a musket, apparently. But in the meantime, Obama is selling more guns. I've talked to people at a few gun stores. More guns are being sold since he even announced he was running than any other situation, even post 9/11. People are buying more guns thanks to Obama. Obama can now be proud of the fact that he is selling more guns than anybody else for any other reason in this country.
Jesus.
Yeah. So the gun stores are packed. They're full of what are dubbed assault weapons, which are nothing more than semi-automatic rifles with a few cool-looking attachments to make them look military-like. They really don't do anything for the performance of the rifle, but they're dubbed assault weapons to scare people. He wants those to be gone. So he wants everybody with a bolt action, with no scope on it, because once you put a scope on it, it becomes what they dub a sniper rifle. Yes, certain scopes they want to outlaw because it becomes a sniper rifle, which, again, will scare people when you say that. It's one of those situations where I felt, I'm going to go in, and until he's inaugurated and starts cracking down, I'm just going to keep buying guns. That's what I'm doing. I'm exercising my Second Amendment right, and I am just buying up guns and taking them to the range and having fun.
Why don't you buy a moat? Why don't you put a moat around your house?
Zoning.
Oh.
Yeah, zoning laws. I got a pool in the back. Hopefully someone will fall in that, and I'll be able to pump a few rounds into them.
Well, what was the thing that people would be shocked at?
Oh, that wasn't it.
No.
No, I bought something else. Aside from the, what are you smiling for? Do you know?
No, I don't actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, we have to take a break? Damn it. Oh. Here's a video of somebody shooting. We'll pop all these up. And of course, me and Keith are going to take some video of us shooting these down at the range later on today, and I'll post those tomorrow. I'm taking it with the little flip cam, of which I have two. I bought the original one, and then I had to get the HD one. So I'm taking the original one, and I am putting it on the target and hitting record, putting the target out there a few feet, and then blasting near the camera. So we'll get a unique view of what it's like to be on the receiving end of a Desert Eagle on the video. So we'll post that one later, too. Let me take a quick look at that one, because this is somebody down at the range firing. The muzzle flash is quite astounding. Oh, here it is.
Whoa. How do you aim that? It's impossible.
Look, the guy had to shake his hand because he just hurt his wrist on shot number 2.
Sounds like a cannon.
It is. It is a cannon. It's a...
That's crazy.
And he's not hitting the target. I don't know what he's hitting.
This pussy doesn't know what he's doing. I fire with one hand and I can shoot better than anybody.
Will you do the oldie time cop stance where you have one hand on your hip and the other one straight out with the gun, like I'm a little teapot with a gun?
And the Israeli army uses that?
I don't know what the Israelis do with this. They decided they needed a 5-pound gun that shoots 50 caliber bullets. The Israelis are wacky. When you're surrounded by people that hate you, all you do is make bigger guns. And then, of course, you export them to the United States, where kooks like me get to collect them.
Or Placido Burress shoots himself with it.
Yes. Yeah, we got to get into that.
What a dope.
We'll get into that great one. What a dummy. Plexico. What the hell is that?
Without being personal, but is something like that really expensive, a gun like that?
It don't come cheap, Rich. I'll tell you that.
Is it more than $500?
Perhaps more than that,
I don't know
Jim.
how much guns go for.
Yes, that is a gun that is in the thousands range.
Really?
Yeah. That's not many people have that one. A lot of people want it. Not many people have it.
More than $1,000, huh?
Fun little gun.
Wow. So if I were in Cincinnati this weekend to go bananas, would I be able to buy one there?
Yes, to hand
not.
the audience so they could all shoot themselves.
Not themselves. For a second, I thought they were going to shoot Voss, but then they still have the memory of his act in their head. All right, we'll take a break, and then I'll get to the other thing I purchased, which is something that I don't think anybody will guess or expects. But I think it's a very worthwhile purchase. That I
Your
made.
girlfriend a book bag?
Very funny. Yes. Okay. She'll be able to drink soon.
What did you get that no one will think that you got?
Yeah. Try to guess that one, Jimmy. Rich.
Okay.
Everyone else.
Hopefully, it's a beginner's pamphlet in Alcoholics Anonymous.
First step.
Just a guess. TV.
All right. We'll take a little break. Of course, we'll be right back. Opie and Anthony Show.
Welcome back to the Opie and Anthony Show. My pal Anthony is choking on more melon. It's amazing with all of Anthony's lunatic lifestyle and driving 300 miles an hour, he's eventually going to die on a watermelon seed.
I know, I'm going to choke on a watermelon seed.
Opie is on his honeymoon with Lindsay. They're away. I think he's back on Wednesday. And
anyone know where they went? I mean, I wouldn't announce it on the air. Don't say anything like that. But you know where they went?
Yes.
Yeah?
Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Ah, in the champagne glass.
Ugh.
Wonderful.
They actually, do you know where they were thinking of
Boss
going?
just went, ugh, because he's been there.
They actually wanted to go to D.C. They were like, we want to go to Washington, D.C., but it didn't work out because I'm there this Friday doing the State Theater in Virginia, but that's me.
Yeah,
so they couldn't go.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
Boo.
Wow.
So, can we please talk about this? I'm so irritated.
Yeah, I love when Jimmy finds these little tidbits because this is annoying.
Well, Canada, disabled and obese people are allowed a free extra plane seat.
To eat? Is that what they bring them? Would you like a plain seat or the steak?
Yes, a plain seat or a seasoned one. I'll have a seasoned one that's been soaked in lard, like all my repressed childhood memories. The top court, Canada's stupid Supreme Court, refuses airlines' appeal of one person, one fare ruling. Because Canada's saying that one person, you should pay one fare. And I can only, like, if it's somebody who's really crippled, like people who like in wheelchair, there's a certain, like, I don't mind them having to only give one fare to somebody who's genuinely crippled, like who's injured or hurt or.
Yeah, and even them, they just wheel them in, they put them in their seat, they check the wheelchair or whatever. It's easier with fat people. This is just only fat people have this problem where they need two seats.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're so upset about this, but that's what you voted for because that's where this country's headed, to that kind of behavior and that kind of...
Really? Explain.
Well, here's what I'm saying is...
Really? So it's Obama, the liberals are all about...
Well,
now, I know they're more...
But you're complaining about how
First of all, I didn't
Canada
vote,
is.
stupid.
Neither did I.
And they're socialist. They're way beyond regular liberal.
Who,
and do you
in
really
Canada?
think? Do you really think that those things wouldn't happen here if McCain was in office? Come on, man. It's silly. Of course they would. Of course they would.
I don't know. I just thought I sound intelligent for a second.
But I know what you're saying, but it's like a ridiculous comparison. Look, I trash the liberals as much as anybody, but you can't blame Obama, who has not even gotten into office yet, for this.
Oh,
but it is some kind of socialism that's going on.
Yeah.
It's a liberal left. People call me a liberal sometimes when I say things on the show, which cracks me up.
It's amazing that there was some of these people. There's some woman in Canada had to sue or something. She hasn't traveled on Air Canada in '97 when she endured a humiliating flight in which the airline refused her an extra seat, even though my hips were flowing over the armrest. My hips were basically on the lap of the person who sat beside me. So, because she said she was born with polycystic ovary syndrome.
Oh, it's always something.
A hormonal disorder that causes obesity in about 50% of those affected. I would love to see what she eats.
Yeah.
Maybe she is one of the rare. You know what? Maybe there are people that honestly can say they eat salads and they don't eat bread and they become obese. I've yet to ever hear of one, but maybe you do exist. Fine.
Well, those people shouldn't travel.
I thought the embarrassing thing was when they tried to fuel her.
Yes. Was when she was walking and there was a man with 2 flashlights trying to back her up. And she said, I'm a person, not a plane.
How aggravating it is when you're sitting there and that person sits next to you. Because, I've said to people on planes that I've gone, okay, you see this right here? There's an invisible wall.
And they say, no, there isn't.
Yeah, I tell them, I don't get it. I'm just like, get away from me.
Invisible wall. I would just, I've never had the pleasure of sitting next to an obese person on a plane.
It's enraging.
Thank God.
Enraging.
Because I travel with somebody. And we're in first class, and it's only 2 seats next to each other. It's wonderful. But I would constantly be with my elbow getting up out of my seat and pinching their fat between my elbow and the armrest. And, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Because what are they going to say? Hey, I'm fat. Stop doing that? But I would say, if they got mad at me, I'd be like, well, your fat seems to be on my armrest.
They should, in armrests, they should have a divider in the armrest which you can raise. This way you each get exactly half an armrest if you want.
That's my invisible wall.
Yeah, but it should be actually something that's raisable, and then the fat monster would be stuck in their area. It's mind-boggling.
It'd be funny to just see fat just wedged up against this glass. This big fat thing.
It would look like the Blob being frozen in the bowling alley. And it's like another example. People just love to make excuses for other people's indulgence. Hey, look, man, I'm an alcoholic, so how about this? If I relapse on a plane, how about this? They have to allow me to behave however I want. Because I'm an alcoholic, I'm sick, right? I'm disabled. I can't.
Right.
Once I start drinking, I can't stop.
Yeah, why do they have to,
don't serve
pin
it on
me
the
down?
Plane. Don't serve alcohol in front of me.
Right, no alcohol on a plane. Or when I drink, because my sickness should affect everyone, you have to allow my behavior. You have to indulge my behavior.
That's like you saying, don't let a little boy sit next to me. I could see you saying that because of your behavior. You know what I mean? Know what I read online?
Or somebody who has the diction of a little boy.
Know what I read online?
The Pavarotti didn't get there in time.
Are you? Do you think this is rude?
Do you think Luciano Pavarotti would need 2 seats? Die.
Do you think that's so funny? Do you think this is rude? I was reading online where people think it's rude that if you recline your seat, that people think that's rude and get upset, or they kick your seat.
The people behind you, they can go screw themselves.
I recline immediately.
Yeah.
Take it up with the airline. I've never had an issue.
I get out a wrench, and I actually make it so I can recline further. So I'm in their lap.
Can you give yourself
And I have the woman's breasts on my face. Of course. It's not bad to recline. Then they could recline.
People get upset.
Who gets upset? It's
who are these people?
It's what the seat does. It's part of what the plane does. They get upset when it takes off. I thought we were driving all the way there. Boo.
Oh, these bunch of dopey fatso. And I know fat people get mad when we bag on fat people. Look, I know some of our listeners are fat.
Some?
Yeah. Look,
into our appearances? Jesus.
All right. With the exception of 3, all of our listeners are fat. But it's like, it's not about being fat. It's about when you have something like that. Look, there's times where you got to take the hit. And when most of society has to sit in a certain type of seat, if you can't because you're too big, sorry.
Fly cargo.
It's a miracle they're getting your fat ass off the ground. Just sit in your seat and shut up.
So irritating.
I like when they fly in the smaller planes and they have to move them around. It's like, miss, I'm sorry, but could you move to the rear of the plane? And then they ask why, and it's legitimate. They're like, well, the captain has asked because the plane is not balanced.
Yes.
Because you're a fat slob and all the luggage weighs less than you.
We have a Sherman tank up front, and we like you in the back to balance it out.
We're transporting the elephants from Ringling Brothers.
Yes.
And we need you on the other side.
Could you sit on the other side of the plane and then lead the march through the Midtown Tunnel?
Damn slobs.
But I don't mind crippled people, though. I don't know, like if you got like some kind
That's
of weird
mighty whitey.
disease.
I know I don't mind crippled.
I really don't mind the cripple.
Yeah, I mean, like if you got to give them a break on a plane, it's just obese people.
Yeah.
It's like we just keep making. I know this is Canada, not America, but everything is acceptable. It's like nobody just says, "Yeah, you suck."
We fly with the baby a lot. So I'll sit next to Bonnie and I'll go, can you shut that baby? I pretend I'm not with him. So I don't get
so you don't look like the bad guy? And they applaud you.
Actually,
hey, that guy. Yeah, shut that baby up.
Actually, the baby's good. The baby's flown about 4 or 5 times and never been a problem.
And it's cool because I'm sure the rest of the passengers can't imagine a girl as attractive as Bonnie is with you.
That's
so that
or as young.
adds in her.
They probably think, who's the chick and the baby with her grandfather?
Oh, poor Richie Rich.
And also, I got to be honest. I know this is a very sore subject with Ant, but
oh no,
Gene Simmons has a point.
With what?
Kiss unhappy about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exclusion.
Screw them. They're a gimmick. They're a gimmick band.
They stole New York Dolls Act.
No, they didn't.
They're a gimmick band. Why not put the Monkees in there then? Same thing, gimmick band. Why? What is he upset with?
Just that they're not like.
I can't put it on my products. I can't put that Kiss Rock and Roll Hall of Fame winners on my products. It's keeping food out of my children's mouths. It's keeping wigs off of my head.
There's just.
He doesn't even care about the food out of his kid's mouth.
He doesn't care. They can just cook it in that wok he wears on his head. Here it is. They've sold millions of records. They've influenced. Gene Simmons wants to know why they're not in. He's like, there are disco bands, rap bands, Yiddish folk song bands, but not Kiss. And I believe we have more gold records in America than any other group. Which they might.
Is it about record sales? Is that what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is about? Record sales? Excuse me. Didn't the Archies sell a lot of records? Why aren't the Archies in there? Because I think Ron Bennington said that. If you let Kiss in, you got to let the Archies in.
Well, they let Madonna, first ballot Hall of Fame, the Grandmaster Flash. They've obviously
I don't agree with a lot of things, but because I don't agree with a lot of inductions doesn't mean I would say that Kiss belongs in there. Gimmick, paint their face up. Oh, stop it.
I want to rock and roll all night.
Children's band. It's a child's band. They dress like it on Halloween. Little kids paint their face up for Halloween like Kiss. Stop it. Gene. Oh, look, Gene's on Channel 5. Oh, wait, no, that's Rabbi Shalom Patlal. He's just...
What are you doing?
Apparently nothing.
Can I ask not to be...
Yeah. I have it here. Yeah, E-Rock.
All right, but why wouldn't you play
Why
it?
wouldn't you just start playing some... Especially maybe the song Jimmy was singing. Yeah. Like a popular Kiss song, just in the background low. Now, doing it now just defeats the purpose. Don't do it now and say, okay, there. Please explain why you didn't just spark that up.
Like I started talking about Kiss in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we talked about it for a couple of minutes.
I was also loading up another Kiss song that we frequent on this show.
Another Kiss? For what? How about launching the first one?
The first one's right here.
No. I'm not saying do it now. The moment is gone. You missed it. I'm just wondering why you missed it. Why didn't you play it?
I've never understood Opie more than I do today.
Yes.
Ope, if you're listening, I get it.
Now it's like, it's starting to kind of sink in. You're like, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Why didn't you play it?
I was getting the other song.
Why get the other song?
Because that's the one we usually go to when we do Kiss
But
stuff.
any Kiss song is good.
But there was no Pavarotti this morning. There was no Kiss. E-Rock, I'm a big defender of yours, but today you've missed a lot of cues. As a matter of fact, there has not been one iota of music.
No!
Not that we need a music bed.
There was the wedding music, like 20 minutes into our wedding discussion.
There was no Pavarotti. There was no gospel.
No gospel, right.
I feel like I'm doing college radio. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you know anything about a college?
I don't. Don't overact with your hands, all right?
No one saw it. They just heard the well-delivered line.
Your eyes pop out like you're at an audition.
So do your teeth.
I know.
E-Rock, why is there no teeth popping out music?
You don't think they took a little of New York Dolls act Kiss?
I don't know anything about New York
I
Dolls.
hate the New York Dolls.
Exactly.
I don't know anything about these people.
Who are they, Pop Pop? I don't know who they are. Shut your face, stupid. No one's talking about the New York Dolls. They stole from Al Jolson, who put on makeup. All right, we got it. They didn't.
Pop Pop.
Can I ask?
I think I got the hiccups. Never get the hiccups. There we go.
I have to know.
Water. Yes. What?
I have to know.
Oh, what? What else I bought?
Yeah.
Hair conditioner.
What?
Nothing.
No, he's got that. He's got Central Air.
I said.
I got it.
Well, let me tell you, my head hurts from the headphones and this hat, and the hat is very loose right now. I loosened the hat because I knew I'd have to wear it today. I hadn't been wearing the hat all week long, and I haven't had a drink since Tuesday. Yes. Finger of God.
Hold on. Right now, I'm looking. Is it like Wednesday morning?
No, I'm talking since last Tuesday.
Wow.
I have not had an iota of alcoholic beverage.
Oh, that's great.
No, not for that reason. Tonight, I'm drinking like a fish.
Damn it.
I am going to get hammered tonight.
Why haven't
because
you?
I'm allowed to. It was under a certain doctor's orders that I not drink for a week because it thins the blood. And because of what I had done, I didn't need any unnecessary bleeding that was involved.
All right, wait a minute. You did something.
Yes.
That would thin that you didn't need to bleed from.
Yeah.
But you're wearing a hat because your head. I don't get it.
I get it.
What?
Can I say it?
Go ahead, say it.
Plugs, hair plugs.
Not plugs.
Plugs. No, plugs would be me in D.C. this Friday.
Right.
Or Atlantic City in January. Those are plugs.
You're talking in ancient vernacular.
Plugs.
Plugs. No, I did visit the medical hair restoration. I did go. And boy, what a treat.
Well, you got a thick head of hair.
No, I don't. I have a big bald spot in the back, dummy.
Can we see? Let me see.
No, well, wait a minute. Hold the phone.
What happened?
So now I look like a monk with a rash.
Are you having hair restoration done? I didn't even know you
had
needed
it done.
Oh, you did?
Of course I... If one more person tells me they never saw the back of my goddamn head...
And, my hand was always there while you were...
That's true, and that's why I lost the hair. Very rough hands.
You always have a hat on. I've showered with you in that hat.
That's exactly why. I always had the hat on. And it was always just when I have to go, like I went to the wedding. And I couldn't wear a hat, obviously. And then if you're standing behind me, you're like, whoa. Because I know. I look in the mirror. I see. When I get a haircut and they give me the two mirrors to look, I see. And I lasted quite a while because my father was completely bald at like 22 years old. My brother went bald. He shaved his head. I'm not a shave your head kind of guy unless I'm laying in a hospice.
Yeah.
I don't have the look for a shaved head.
You look like the machinist.
Yes. So I decided to check it out. And see, a lot of people, like Rich, think back to the 70s, they're saying like hair plugs. And this isn't a commercial. Believe me, sales is going to be pissed that I didn't approach them and do this. But I did this all on my own, so it's not a plug. I paid full price, so it's not plugola. It's not hair plugola.
Listen.
But it's what?
If they take another piece of hair and plug it in your head, I don't care what you call it, it's plugs.
How does
plugs
it work?
were, here's what plugs were. Here's what plugs were, dummy.
Okay.
They took a cookie cutter the size of a bottle cap and cut out chunks of the back of your head in big round circles and then stuck them in the front of your head, and it looked like doll hair. You'd have 100 things of hair growing out of one big lumpy scar tissue on your scalp.
It's a start.
That is what they used to do. What they do now is you lay it took 10 hours to do this. 10 hours.
Wow.
First thing you do is lay down in a massage-like table.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, your face is down in the massage table kind of a thing.
Cool.
Then
Is there someone trying to pay off a slavery ship debt? Speaking poor English?
Oh,
okay.
This was right on Central Park South, my friend. Nice, reputable place. And they cut from what they call the donor area. It is the area back. You ever see somebody that's horseshoe bald?
Yes.
Where they just have the hair over the ears and in the back.
Yeah.
That hair, all that hair is genetically engineered where it doesn't ever come out. Doesn't fall out. You can't go bald there unless you have a disease or some crap.
Really?
But male pattern baldness, it doesn't affect those hairs. So they cut a big swath out of there, and then they stitch it shut. And your scalp stretches, so it stretches.
So they numb your head.
They numb the crap out of your head with Novocaine.
They put needles in your head?
Needles in my head. I heard crunching noises.
How much did the needles hurt?
The first few were kind of painful, but then once your head goes numb, it's numb. You're like Voss. It numbs.
I know that feeling.
Numbskull. They call it Vossing the patient. So they put a bunch of Novocaine in there, and then they take a scalpel and cut this big swath just about from ear to ear. Wow. And on the back of your head, on that hair that never falls out.
Okay.
And then they take it and, like I said, stitch that shut. And then they dissect the piece that they took out. They cut it into separate, here's where it's not plugs, separate follicles, individual follicles, which each follicle either has 1, 2, or 3 hairs growing out of it. So they separate them all into 1, 2s, and 3s.
How long does that take for them to separate follicles?
A long time. You lay in there, and there's 3 people working under microscopes cutting these follicles out of this patch that they took and getting 1, 2s, and 3s and putting them together. The 1s and 2s are used for the front, for like a hairline, so it doesn't look fake. And then the 3s are used to fill up bulk area in the back. That's pretty much what I needed. I didn't want a hairline like, I'm 25 years old or something like that. I want a regular hairline for someone my age. But they filled in a little up front.
Wow.
A little on the front line. But I needed most in the back because I was watching the Letterman appearance recently. And I walk out, and it's the over-the-shoulder camera, and I just go, Jesus Christ. Got to do something about that. It's just this glaring white light coming off my head. So I checked everything out, went down there, talked to the consultant. He said I'm a good candidate because I have curly hair, which blends in really well, and
Sure.
and I have like thick, very full hair that grows fast in the back. And they took that, popped it up top, and popped some in the front by where the receding was and stuff like that. And for the past week, I've had a big gangsta bandana on my head, and this is the first day I'm wearing the hat, which is it's hurting a little. It's kind of like hurting the stitches in the back.
So they cut when they cut a piece out of the back. How do they know? Like, I guess they know because they've done it. But like, what if they don't cut enough? Like, what if there's not enough to fill your head out?
Oh no, they know exactly how much they're cutting out. I got about 2,500 follicles taken out and put in. I said, go for the max. Fill that up.
How many can they do at a
Fill her up.
time?
Just short of about 3,000.
No, but I mean, like, if you got 2,500 cut out, do they have to do each one?
Dude, individually. Each one is placed with the grain of your hair, too. Like the direction, if you have a cowlick or your hair grows a certain way, they put it in that direction. So they place each follicle completely individually of anything else. The guy goes with what looks like a hole punch. And after they're done Novocaining your head, they take this thing and poke thousands of holes in your head. It's just tick, 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 and you hear like...
Ew.
You hear it. You don't feel it, but you hear like this crunching noise. And then once they do that, they're wiping it down constantly and spraying it with saline to keep everything wet. And then they take these follicles that are sitting in saline, and then one at a time, place them in each part. Take a look, a few more holes where they figure you might need some more hair.
I see.
Then they put it in, and they fashion like a natural-looking hairline if that's what you need. Like I really didn't need like a front hairline. But some people do. They need an entire front hairline done. I needed just the back filled up because, from the back it was just... Ugh.
What's to stop him from falling out? If they're just placing him in.
Well,
For a week, I've had to sit up. I had to sleep at a 45-degree angle with something on my head. I've had to put like these gauze on, a wet saline gauze wrapped in cellophane. And then after 5 days, they take. And it's healed. But in the meantime, if you bend over or strain yourself, you could pop. That's why I didn't go to the range with my gun. I had a nice new gun. There'd have been follicles up at the roof of the
do you know
above me.
how hilarious? Achoo! Fuck! $10,000 worth of work.
They just come flying out of your head.
Oh, my. I've never wanted to push somebody down steps so bad.
Oh, and just watch their follicles.
You were telling me
fly up.
that showering was a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, showering is just like... The first time I had to take a shower, you take a gauze pad and put this shampoo on it, and then you just gently tap the top of your head with the little shampoo-y thing, and then you can't put your head under the shower. You have to fill a little cup up and slowly pour it over your head. And then I started thinking about it, what was going on and why it was stinging, and I started getting all queasy and nauseous, and I thought I was going to pass out or throw up, and I'm thinking, if I puke, these things are going to be all on the top of the toilet seat. I'm just going to throw up, and they're going to fly out of my head. So I just ran, like, still completely wet, and laid down in bed, just going, don't puke. So I didn't puke, but now we got to take a break soon.
Dude, you're... Okay, so they put these things in your head, and a week later they take. Are they in now okay?
Yeah, they're in.
But how do you know?
Now it's... Well,
I mean, you had to have lost some of them, right? I mean,
no. As far as I know, I did.
Can I see the back of your head? It looks
so. You had 2,500.
See, it looks real bad though because they shaved the back where it was.
I don't want to look.
See, they shaved where it was. See, it's still a blaze. See?
Okay.
See that?
Oh wow! It looks like Looks like Anthony has head AIDS.
Yes.
The top of his head.
I have
it looks,
head AIDS.
It looks really scabby. It looks like someone skinned his knee.
Yes, it's very scabby.
Yeah.
But those come off when you shampoo and stuff. But there's those little bristles of hair that, were never there.
So
that was gone.
So that's going to really grow in.
That was gone. So it grows in, in like 6 months or something like that. It all grows back. And then I got the hair on the back of my head. I don't have the big friggin' white bald spot. Man. So, yeah, I just figured, I got sick of looking at pictures and videos and just, hair. Yeah.
That's cool.
Hated it. So, yeah, that's the second thing I bought.
Wow, okay.
And that cost me more than the guns.
Was it?
Wow.
And how painful? After, do you have headaches every day?
No, it's not headaches. You don't get a headache. It's not that internal pain. It's scalp kind of stinging kind of a thing. Pain. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
But there it is. You
don't want to look like you're wearing a yarmulke.
No, I didn't want a hair hat. No comb overs. I wasn't shaving it. It's my own goddamn hair. And it grows and cut it and whatever.
That's great.
Right. 10 years from now, you have that big patch of hair on the back of your head?
No, that's been. But you know what it is?
What?
I lost a hair to a certain point, and that was it. That was it.
But now your scalp is smaller. You have a smaller scalp. They stretched your scalp.
No, they stretched it. It's bigger.
No,
they didn't stretch it that much. It doesn't stretch. Yeah, we got to take a break.
Okay.
I'm going crazy over here with the stunt brain yelling at me. We'll take a break. Be right back. Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony show. Hi. How are you? This magnificent Monday morning.
Did you see Rosie's Abomination Variety Show?
Wow. Oh. You're talking with your mouth full. That adds a whole new...
It's mind-boggling.
That adds a whole new thing.
Speaking of abomination.
Yeah.
Jesus, you don't have to act like Rosie.
No, I didn't.
He's got his hand up like no one should talk until he's done chewing.
Yeah, please wait. I'm almost done.
She did an opening number with Liza Minnelli. I thought one of her limbs was going to fall off Liza when she was dancing. I was going, please don't fall. Because she's too old. You know, the cane is for walking. She's up there trying to dance. She came out from under the stage. Liza
Could you
Minnelli.
eat again?
Hold on. If you would have saw this. Hold on.
No, I didn't see. I heard it.
I didn't either. I actually, that sounds like something I should have seen.
Yeah.
Liza and the big fat dyke dancing. I do have the hiccups. I don't get it.
And can somebody explain how stupid Plaxico Burress shot himself? He just turned himself in a little, I guess.
Yeah, we just saw that. He was at a club.
Yeah.
And his gun went off.
Where did he shoot himself? Like, not location, but what part of his body?
He in the leg, but it was just a flesh wound. He was going into the club, and they started wanding the guys in his party, and he said, hang on a second, I got something. So they took him off to a side area behind a curtain, and he took the gun out and was unloading it and accidentally discharged it into his leg.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, well, one of the reports, I mean, there's 5,000 different reports, but one of them that I had heard was that he actually... he went to, like, unload it or handle the gun in some fashion and, like, bobbled it and then went to grab it to secure it, and that's when it fired.
There you go. Great.
If you want the audio of the story.
Sure. Let's hear how the news presented it.
New details are emerging about just how Giants receiver Plaxico Burress ended up in a hospital early Saturday with a gunshot wound to his thigh. According to the New York Times, Burress was with teammate Antonio Pierce at a Manhattan nightclub called the Latin Quarter when Burress accidentally shot himself. He was treated and released from the hospital within hours. According to the Times, the bullet pierced skin and muscle tissue but did not hit any bone or an artery. It's unclear how long he'll be sidelined for recovery. The accident came just hours after Burress was deemed unfit to play in Sunday's game at Washington due to a hamstring strain in the same leg. The team released a statement saying, "Obviously, our primary concern is for Plaxico's health and well-being." New York investigators say the incident took place in a small alcove of the Latin Quarter near the VIP room. It's unclear how the gun went off. There were no reports of fights inside the club. It's not known if Burress could face punishment by the league. Police do say felony charges could be possible.
Is he licensed or no?
He apparently had a Florida license that was expired. A Florida license gives you access to about 29 states, something like that. New York not being one of them, and New York City certainly not being one of them. So he was in possession of an illegal weapon in New York.
What will happen to him, you think?
You know, they usually say a year mandatory, but for him, he's not going to have to do that.
And he's such a dope, too. They said that the reason that he was carrying was because of all of his bling that he was wearing.
His bling,
So, yeah, he was afraid to get robbed. So instead of just not wearing it in the first place, he wears all of it and takes an illegal loaded handgun into the club with him. Like, how dumb are you?
Hire a guy with a gun to stand there.
Yeah.
What a dopey thing, especially somebody of his, I mean, the guy makes a ton of money. He's got a huge mansion. He rolled up to the club, I think, in like a Maybach or whatever. It's just like, why would you put everything that you have on the line just so you could wear some of your crappy jewelry? Like, what's wrong with you?
I protect my own bling.
Yep.
Bring my own gat. Yeah, that was a wow. And then to screw up like that and shoot yourself in the leg with it. Dude.
Yeah, was he Fredo?
Yeah.
Papa. What a dumbbell.
Yeah, he could he could face some felony charges. That's not New York City. They don't fool around. Really sucks that, especially if you're a resident. It's such a pain in the ass to get one.
And I'm sure if there was anybody who would make a good case for getting a permit for the city, it would be him. I mean, he's a high-profile sports star. He's got lots of money. He's always doing.
Where does he reside?
I don't know. I think Jersey.
Yeah, see.
But I'm sure there's some way you could get some kind of carry permit or something.
Maybe.
I'm not sure of the law. Unfortunately,
they just had something in Newsday about who has carry permits for New York City.
Athletes.
Yeah, athletes. But a lot of the athletes only have premises permits. They're only allowed to keep them at home for home protection. But it seems radio personalities, they just, Imus, carry permit. Sean Hannity, carry permit. Stern, carry permit. So they're all allowed to pack heat as they're walking around because, controversial.
Have you ever seen talk radio?
Oh, of course. That's scary.
I won't ruin it for anybody.
You're dead.
Where he's walking around. He's not attached to the mic. He's just walking around ranting. The genius ranting.
I saw that.
So stupid.
I saw that movie before and after I did radio. And before I did radio, I was like, wow, radio seems pretty cool. Like you get in there and you just plunk down a phone and just ramble on without a mic, and you're walking around the studio and it's just you and the producer. Ugh. And you just, it's my peace of mind, man. And you only go to break when you're annoyed enough to go to break. And then I get into the business and go, no, it's nothing like that.
What about when his if memory serves, when his wife catches him partying with chicks at the house and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Like he was the biggest thing ever, and him and his producer, they were just having this big wild sex party at Eric Bogosian's house.
At the house. Wasn't that the time actually his wife walked in and then opened a closet and some chick was in the closet? And
no, that was, you're thinking of the documentary talk radio. This movie's a work of fiction.
Oh, I was thinking of the other talk radio called the Opie and Anthony Show. Oops.
What happened?
What? I think you remember there, Mr. Warm Tub. You remember being in the old warm tub at my party?
I sure do.
Yes.
I hate her. Do you?
No, I don't think I said that.
You didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And Danny feigning sleep on the couch downstairs during the big ruckus.
Yes. I wasn't about to get in the middle of that. Are you kidding me?
You saw Shawshank last night. You could have. What about when he's sweeping? Shake it down. Shake it down the cells. They're tossing the cells. They're tossing the cells. Tossing the cells. You could have given me they're tossing the room. Tossing the room.
As she's walking in.
Yeah. He did it with the warden right behind him. They're tossing the cells. Boy, did I get hammered on that one. Oh, well. Cares.
Now I'm watching this on YouTube.
Eric Bogosian.
Bogosian's thing with that. Remember the weird blonde-haired tranny guy?
Yeah.
He was laughing the whole time.
He came in because he was wild. And Eric Bogosian was like, man, this just isn't cool, man.
Yeah.
He was so into let me tell you a little something about radio. You're not into every second that you're here.
No.
Every second you're here isn't this profound moment. Every moment he looked at look at this man I have in, and this is crazy. So profound. And no, actually it's not. Sometimes you just sit there.
And watch the long-haired guy make an ass out of himself, or watch your friend with the awful hat eat food while he's talking.
see how much he'll take to rip his clothes off and have an intern smell his underwear. I didn't see that on talk radio.
What? I didn't do that.
Oh. No, of course we've had interns do that.
Do you have the shooting scene at the end? What's that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta split.
We gotta
Uncle,
go
we gotta
interview
split.
Tom
We'll
Jones.
take that spare minute that we have to let our comedian friends take another bite of a sandwich and try to plug a gig.
Well, while Rich is eating, I'll plug mine and then you can plug yours.
All right.
This December 5th, Friday, I will be in D.C. area again. I will be at the State Theater in Virginia, Chase, wherever that is.
Good plug.
Friday night. And January 15th, 16th, Borgata, Atlantic City.
And, of course,
December 26th and 27th, Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, 26th and 27th. But New Year's Eve, the Treehouse in Danbury. Treehouse in Danbury, New Year's Eve.
You almost said Banbury.
I know. Danbury.
You almost said Banbury. You rucking fetard.
I've had stomach pains all morning.
Oh,
Jesus.
boy.
Falls Church is the city I'll be in Friday.
He really cares about your stomach pains. He finally got where he's going to be.
Yeah.
And just gave up on your stomach pains.
I don't care what it is. It's eating you away.
It's what? You just dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
That's the first time ever in radio.
Did.
Oh, my goodness.
You just went into effing horrible.
And then you went into old lady form. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. The mouth on me.
Almighty.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Complete slip. The first time ever.
All right. We'll be back in a very short bit with Tom Jones. Yes, the Tom Jones. Not unusual to be loved by anyone. I'm just singing because I know E-Rock absolutely doesn't have anything queued up.
Hey, Tom Jones queued up?
And then he makes the face like he's hit the mark every time this morning.
Yeah, he really did.
He did.
Like, who do you think you're talking to, face?
Shut up. You screwed up every time.
Surprised it wasn't Davy Jones.
Sex bomb. Yes, the sex bomb himself, Tom Jones, in a couple of minutes on the Opie and Anthony Show.
Now don't get me wrong, ain't gonna do you no.
There is a new element of vulgarity.
Opie and Anthony
is outrageous.
Fuck you. Moral ammo.
Fuck you! Damages our children.
Go fuck yourself.
And diminishes their future.
Evil.
This is a tragedy for the society.
Oh, yeah. Tom Jones. It's the Opie and Anthony show, and sitting here, none other, Tom Jones.
Right.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Got a new album out?
Yes.
God damn, you're still cranking.
Yeah.
I
Gotta
mean,
do it.
not even like one of these guys, because there are people out there that are, hanging on by the skin of their teeth to a career and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw you recently in Atlantic City, and just kicking ass. And the fans, what got me was their kids going to see you, and then some of the old broads. They're still digging on you there, Tom.
Yep.
But it's amazing the audience that goes to see you, and the show you put on, phenomenal.
Thank you.
I mean, you would think not that I'm not saying, hey, why don't you settle down or something like that, but you would think that you might lighten up after the years.
Yeah.
You're still all over that stage. You got the set of pipes on you is still amazing.
Thank you.
And if I could keep just kissing that ass,
well, why not?
I'll keep doing it. But
I had an advanced copy of the CD. Some people would probably call it an illegal bootleg copy. And I was raving about it. I mean, it really was fucking great. I mean, it was energy. That's the song, I'm Alive. And I was running around just yelling, I'm a man! Not quite as well as you did it, but it was just fucking great.
Yeah, I myself never heard of you. No,
of course.
My father,
And
my father, when I was like 11 years old, and this had to be 40 years ago, came home with an album signed by Tom Jones and said he played cards with you. But his last name is Voss, but I think he was lying.
Hold on.
What's his last name?
Joe Voss.
Yeah, Joe Voss. I know Joe Voss.
Get out. That's my father. You don't know.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Joe Voss.
He played cards with you, and he came home with an album.
Yeah, we used to hang out.
Get out of here. He was telling the truth?
Yeah, in the Copa and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is actually, I'm shocked.
It's Joe Voss. Yes, my dad.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Or you really know Joe Voss?
No, I know Joe Voss.
Oh, my God. He's the guy that would come in and complain how stupid his kid was.
It must have made quite an impression.
I haven't seen him for a long time, but we used to hang out.
Yeah.
Does he owe you money?
No.
No, well, he never used to carry any money. I remember that.
I'll chip off the old block.
I tell you, it was a funny thing. He came, because I knew him from New York, and then he came over to England. I was playing the Palladium in London, and he showed up.
Yeah.
And he said, I'd like to invite you to a party tonight. I said, oh, really? Because he was... we were always inviting him. So, it was in the Ritz. He had a suite in the Ritz. We went over and had a big slap-up meal, champagne. I couldn't believe it. And he paid for it.
I'm stunned.
Hold on. Either there's another Joe Voss
that's my dad.
who's big in the record industry, or you
no.
have one of those photographic memories. You have like a photographic memory?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how would you
that
remember?
That was 40 years ago.
Joe Voss from 40 years ago. Damn. Well, that's something, Rich. You got a claim to fame, finally.
That really hurts.
TV.
Your father hung out with Tom Jones.
And I like the fact that Tom still has no interest in talking to Rich. That makes me really happy.
Like, who cares?
All right.
What's he doing now, Joe?
He works at a travel agency. Nothing, he's married again, third time, and he lives in New York here.
Ah, good.
A real success story there.
Well,
just like Tom.
Is it hard to pretend? I asked Tom. Is it hard to pretend like when the older chicks come up to you that that they still have that you're interested? Is it I mean, because you're legendary. Tom Jones is legendary. For women, that's like your thing, is that chicks throw their underwear at you.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing to be known for. And I guess you got to be nice to the older ones, but it's got to be kind of irritating.
No, they're good. They're good people. It's
the cougars.
People.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to banging them.
Oh, well. No.
What's the cutoff age? Do you have a cutoff age where it's like they got to show you ID, and if it's over this, you got to give them a boot?
Yeah, about 30, I would think.
Yeah, that's probably it, right?
30 still?
Yeah.
Younger than 30?
That's right.
Wow.
30. He's Tom Jones, for God's sake. What are you thinking? I saw, like I said, when I went and saw you in Atlantic City, there were these older women that came up, and they're throwing those big old bloomers at you and stuff. And then these real young girls came up with thongs.
That's right.
And they start throwing those, and they're singing and dancing to your songs, the newer songs, and your classic hits that everybody knows. And I'm just watching this going, this guy has just got it down.
Well, there you go.
You figured out the formula.
A lot of practice.
Yeah. You hypnotize these girls. What has changed since touring in the older days and touring now for you?
It's the same. I'm just an older version of what I was then. My attitude is the same.
Yeah.
And I still like the same music. I think I've learned more about music. At one time because I was a teenager in the 50s, so rock and roll was a big thing with me. 50s rock and roll, and so I didn't really particularly like swing singers. I didn't like band singers. That was like before. But then as time went on, I learned to appreciate Frank Sinatra, for instance, and Tony Bennett and people like that, which in the 50s I thought were like passé, but...
Well, you were an Elvis fan, right? Like you were a big Elvis guy.
Yeah. 50s rock, Jerry Lee Lewis, Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, of course.
We had because we had a prep sheet. They always give us a prep sheet, which on you, most of your stuff is so well known. But our crack team, this is what they said. He became friends with his idol Elvis Presley in 1965,
right,
and stayed that way until his death in 1967.
1967.
Yeah, well, that's a short friendship, and. Well, we sure missed out on a lot of Elvis there.
Yeah.
So he was your idol or a guy you really looked up to, and you met him and hung out with him.
Yeah. And my first year in the business, 1965, when I came over to do some Ed Sullivan shows, and I met Elvis Presley in Hollywood. I was out there doing an Ed Sullivan show because it's funny at that time, it went color. It was black and white before that.
Right.
And then when they went to color, they had to do it in Los Angeles because they didn't have the facilities in New York to go to color. So then I went out to L.A. and did some shows out there. And Elvis Presley was... I went to Paramount Studios to do a song for the movie, and they said, Elvis is here, and he'd like to say hello, And I said, wow, Christ. Everything was like happening in that first year. It was mind-boggling.
What was the song that year that was the big song for you?
Well, my first hit was It's Not Unusual. And then I had What's New Pussycat. And then I had a ballad called With These Hands. So that was in 65. So when I met Elvis, he was walking towards me singing With These Hands. And I thought, Jesus Christ, here comes Elvis. It was like a dream, it wasn't real, but it was. And he said, how the hell do you sing like that? I said, well, you're partly to blame, listening to you. So
did you ever, with a guy like that, you're hanging out with your idol, and you're a guy who's known to, let's be honest, a lot of chicks. Did you ever get to we call it pulling a train? I've done it with him. Me and him on a girl. Normally what would happen is because he's better looking, he would get the chicks, and then he would kind of guilt them into banging me as well, and it'd be like me and him waving at each other over a girl. And there had to be some of that with you on the road over all the years.
Yeah,
it was very non-committal.
Like now, you could do grandmother, daughter, and granddaughter. You could do
nobody wants the grandmother. You bang the mother and the daughter. You ever bang a mother and a daughter together at one point in your career?
I can't tell you that.
That's a yes. See, for me, ask me that question. Absolutely not. I've never done that. I've never done that.
And I can't tell you that is a yes.
That's an absolutely yes, and that's probably in many different countries. He's probably banged them in England and here. What's the most chicks at a time? We're not only going to ask you about girls, but Tom, I was so psyched that you're coming in because again, you're a guy. You are everything. You're the pinnacle of a rock star when it comes to that because they're throwing underwear at you.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I care about the gigs. The coolest gig was back then was the Copa and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was
that was the place
in New York. Yeah.
Did you
when I first came over, I did a Dick Clark Caravan of Stars in the summer of '65. And that sort of turned me off a bit because we've toured everywhere in a bus, all over America. And I didn't realize America was so big until I did that. So I went back to England with my tail between my legs a bit, because I thought this is not the way, it didn't seem like show business to me. But then I was playing a place in London called the Talk of the Town, which is a nightclub. And then my agent saw me and said, you need to be in the Copa and nightclubs like that. So... And then my TV show came out, so...
Yeah, what was the big, I don't understand how back then, did somebody just see you and decide, hey, wow, this guy's got a great set of pipes and he's got the sex appeal, let's...
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah. My manager, the guy that became my manager, Gordon Mills his name was, and he came to Wales, where I come from, and he was Welsh. He came to visit his mother, and he saw me in a club. And... he said, "My God, you know, your voice is incredible." And I said, "Well, thank you." And he said, "If you ever come to London and you want some help, you know, I'm your man." So then he called me up and he said, "Look, I've never managed anybody before, but I'd seen him on television. He was a singer himself. So I knew that he was in the business, you know, so I grabbed hold of him with both hands and I thought, you're not getting away from me." So I could tell that he was the one that was going to do it. And then he wrote It's Not Unusual. And that was it. That was the beginning of it.
And you brought up the TV show. I remember, watching the Tom Jones show, the variety show.
Yeah, on ABC. Yeah.
How did that work for you? Now you're a club singer. You hit. And then they're throwing a TV show at you. Was that a rough thing for you to go, like, I've never done television?
Well, the only television I had done is guesting on
right,
shows.
Right. But now you're
never hosting.
Yeah,
before.
you're the guy.
Yeah. So I didn't know whether I could do it. So we did a special, first of all.
Because you were in like sketches, right? They'd put you in the comedy sketches, and I remember watching that with my parents. Yeah, while they weren't yelling at each other.
Right. So
I wasn't crying.
It worked, and I liked it because I could do all kinds of songs. You know, as when you go on TV and you guest, you do one song, maybe two.
Right.
You know, so you got to. But then when you've got your own show, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you could be in the middle of something to just break into song. Whatever song you wanted.
The duets, I was always pushing for rock singers. So ABC Television wanted more middle of the road people.
Right.
But I was pushing for Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard, and Wilson Pickett, which I got on there.
Yeah.
But it was like a trade-off. I had to have Barbara Reedon on as well. I Dream of Janie and stuff like that.
Kind of do the little sketches and stuff. Yeah. And what a trademark that opening was. It was the microphone and the pinky ring.
And the ring, yeah.
This is Tom Jones.
There you go.
And It's Not Unusual would start, and then you'd come out. But you didn't find that difficult to host? Like, how involved were you in the actual production of that show?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah?
It was, I mean, I was nervous, as I say, when I did this the pilot, but so the more I did, the easier it became. And it became second nature to me then.
It's like a strange time back then because if you did hit in music, apparently they just gave you television shows. Like Glenn Campbell had one, and
Andy Williams was
the one.
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin would have that. Do you find nowadays it is just more difficult to break in and get that popularity?
I think it's basically the same, as it was then. It's always youth orientated. Record companies are always looking for young bands and young singers.
It always seemed, though, that back then they would give, if somebody clicked, they really were just handed so much media back then. They were all over the TV. They were doing guest spots on Laugh-In and having their own shows.
Right. Well, the reason I got my show, they told me, was that I could do all kinds of songs, which was... and I was like 28 years old then. So I filled a gap in there because it was either you got Andy Williams, singing sort of middle of the road stuff.
Right.
And then Glenn Campbell country, so they wanted somebody that could cover all of it, and which ended up to be me.
Were you ever censored on television for words or movements or?
Yeah, Ed Sullivan Show especially.
Really, what did they do?
Well, when I first came over in '65, and they said, you can't move like that.
Oh, Jesus!
On television, we'll cut the close-ups. They were telling
he was actually having sex with a girl on stage.
So they were telling me something that they told Elvis Presley 9 years before.
Wow!
Like nothing had really changed. And I remember I did and you had to do it. It was almost like an audition. Even though I was signed to do the show, you still had to do a rehearsal in a rehearsal hall
because they wanted to see
and do it live. Yeah, they wanted to hear exactly what you were going to do.
Wow!
And so I did an album track called "What You Gonna Do," and the opening line is "You been running around balling," right? Which means having a ball.
Right,
You've been running around balling, playing the clubs every night. And I said, balling. They said, what? You can't say balling on I said, well, so I had to say wailing.
Oh, wow.
You should have changed it to fucking.
Well, there you go. And then when I had Delilah out, they said, well, we got to change something in Delilah. I said, well, if you're going to take out I felt a knife in my hand and she laughed no more, that's the reason he's killing this girl.
Big payoff
but
there.
So he said, no, it's not that. It's at break of day when the man drove away, I was waiting. So they said it was at break of day, you know, and when the man drove away, that means he was with her all night. I said, well, yeah, that's why he kills her.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the fact that he
Not
stabbed
having
her with
breakfast.
a knife. Yeah, it was a sex thing. I mean, it was unbelievable.
He was like the most powerful man, though, Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan,
I mean, was he a nice guy, or was he?
He was a nice guy, and he liked me, which was very useful. Because I did like 5 Ed Sullivan shows, you know. So
I heard Ed hated Joe Voss. Is that true?
Well, he didn't
because he
Joe
never
didn't
paid
invite him to
never
the
paid a
party.
bill. The skinflint.
Exactly. Threw a party and he told everybody it was paid for.
Yeah.
Was probably still people looking for Tom for some money for that party back in 1968.
Was there anybody that like opened for you that became a big star?
Yeah, well, the Who. You know,
The Who opened for you?
Yeah, they used to open my show in '65. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! How do you follow the Who?
Yeah.
Were they hard to go on? Because Black Sabbath, had Van Halen opening for them in like '78, and like that. They said it was really hard to go on after Van Halen had done what they did.
Right.
Did you have trouble after the Who, or didn't care?
No, not really. You know,
Especially they're there to see Tom. You know,
they used to do these package tours. You know, you got all kinds of people, a mixture of rock and pop, and you know, so and everybody dug it. So it was fine.
Did you do any of the Motown scene, any of that stuff, like the tours with the Supremes or any of those people?
Yeah, when I did this Dick Clark Caravan of Stars tour, there was the Shirelles were on there, and a doo-wop group called the Jive Five. You know, there was a lot of people that were around in those days. You know, so they wanted to sign me on Motown once. They wanted
Really?
Yeah.
You know, you don't find many artists that can talk about their experience with the Shirelles and Motown that are still putting out albums, still relevant, still drawing crowds, and still have the pipes, and you're willing to take chances that other people aren't. When you covered Kiss, the Prince song, people were like, "What the hell is he doing?" But it was a big hit.
Yeah. Well, when I did it with The Art of Noise, I think they thought, oh, Vegas meets techno pop, you know. And but then when they heard it, they realized that it was it was a serious record.
Yeah,
because it wasn't kitschy.
A lot of people thought it was going to be this kitschy kind of goof album. But man, you sang your balls off on it. It sounds fantastic, and it put you into another category. You then transcended where you had been and were able to keep your career going, which you've done for years. Was that a calculated thing to keep your career going this long? Did you think when you started that you'd still be in the business and still be
I didn't know whether I would still be alive.
Really? Yeah.
But with doing Kiss, I liked the song and I was doing it in my show live. Not thinking about recording it. I just thought it would be a good song for the stage. And then The Art of Noise saw me do it on TV, and that's what I recorded with them. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot.
At the time, also was really the peak of MTV videos and everything.
Yeah.
So the video really took off, and people were just watching. I remember my mother would watch and go, "Oh my God, it's Tom Jones!" It's like,
So we had the breakthrough video award.
Right.
You know, so I'd never had an award from MTV before, but.
That was huge. What do you do? Do you do anything for your voice, or you're just one of those guys that are just lucky? Because some people, their voice goes after a while, and you still, man, you nail those notes.
I'm lucky. It's a God-given talent. You know? It's a natural voice. So, but I went for lessons when I was a teenager, and the woman that was giving me voice lessons, she said, "You're singing pretty correctly. If you're going to do pop music, you know, you can't do it any better than you are. You know, as far as breathing is concerned, and using your diaphragm, you know, in the right place. So I think that's what's kept me going. I've never really abused it.
Singing correctly, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's so odd to listen to somebody that has such a powerful voice and not think, how are you not ripping your voice apart on a nightly basis? But that's just the natural way that you sing. It's quite fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have to warm up or anything. I don't do any vocal exercise.
I'm sure there are singers that want to just belt you in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
After hearing that, it's like, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
No honey and tea or any of that.
No, he just walks in and he belts out the show, bangs 80 chicks, and then leaves. I did not love that. I could not believe how great this CD was, because I didn't have any of the names of the songs. It was just all tracked.
Yep.
But it's like, you've been around for a long time, and it's just it's a really, like you said, relevant, powerful CD. It's fucking great, man.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I
It
just
is
love
too.
it.
Like it's one of those. You could screw to this music. It's that powerful.
There's
chicks,
a good mixture
chicks
of
love
stuff
it.
on there.
Not
You
the
know,
opening
girls-
song, you can't. No, because every time he goes, "I'm alive," you're like looking around like, you can't. But there's slower songs, and then there's fast. It's like I wish I could do it more justice and describe it better, because I listened to the whole thing a few times through, working out. It was great.
Do you still enjoy doing the classic your hits for the people, because do they eat that up?
Yeah. Well, that's the people keep them alive. When I do Delilah, for instance, it's so recognizable as soon as it starts that you get applause up front, before you even start it. So it's a great feeling. I like that, because if I went to see somebody and he or she didn't do any of those songs,
I know.
think, well,
there are people that do
what's
that.
wrong with that?
The fans are left going, hey, I'll get the new album. I'll learn to love these songs and see them next time around. But you know something? Play some hits.
That's what I do in the live show. All new stuff that I put in, and I sort of fit the hits throughout the show.
Yeah.
Not like new stuff and then old stuff. It works. They all work.
Yeah.
And being played by the band, the same band is playing it all, so you don't get that shock from listening to one record and then jumping to another. The band is playing it all.
Do you got a favorite song? I mean, I know it's a kind of a hokey question, but do you have one that you do that you're like this is the best thing I've ever written?
It's one of the. There's a song called "It Looks Like I'm Never Gonna Fall in Love Again." It's a ballad that a guy called Lonnie Donegan wrote for me in England, and that still stands up. It's it's a powerful ballad.
And you do that every live show?
Yeah, but it's not unusual. Is the most important, because that was the one that changed my life. Your first hit record is so important. And it still stands. It's a great arrangement to it.
A lot of your songs, you hear the classic Tom Jones songs on the radio, and you kind of stick with it. You don't. I'll listen to that.
How do you not listen to like "She's a Lady" or "Sex Bomb" and just go, "That's a bad motherfucker"? How do you not? You can't not listen to those songs. They're great.
When I saw you live, I could not. I was in the casino, just sex bomb, the whole for hours.
Right.
Just singing that. If that isn't one that gets stuck in your head, man.
Yeah, it's funny because kids like that song as well.
Yeah, it's
I don't
great.
think they know what the words are, because there's some risque lines in there. But
that is odd, because I did see during when I saw your show, there was a girl, had to be 8 years old, standing up kind of on a table with parents just watching. And I'm going, there's an 8-year-old watching Tom Jones, and there's some risque lyrics going on there.
Yeah, but I don't think they hear those.
No, they just like the music.
It's
like the music.
She didn't throw her underwear, did she?
No, she didn't throw her underwear. Although she was looking at Tom's pants at one point. You ever done TV and had people go, could you wear some padded underwear or something?
Well, no. When I had my TV show, I had to wear a belt. Like a dancer's belt.
Really?
What dancers wear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it all.
Keep it all.
in
Well,
place.
you know why? Because there is an instance where you'll see him on the live show and go, "Wow, that is Tom Jones."
What a great problem to have, sir. Your penis is going to offend millions of people.
No, I just assumed he had a spare microphone. If the one went out, he was able to just reach in and get another.
Let's say Burt Robin from Batman had the same problem. Jim Norton
Burt Ward
does not have that problem. My friend Jim Florentine's a comedian, and he had the opposite problem. That his first TV appearance, he actually put a sock in the front of his pants so his penis looked bigger.
No,
there was a rumor.
He did.
There was a rumor for years that you had done that.
Yeah.
There was the sock rumor.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I've said those pants were so tight there was no room for anything else.
No room for a song. It was all Tom Jones.
There you go.
And you probably didn't realize, of course, that the tight pants would accentuate, or you never would have worn them.
Exactly right. It was just a fashion statement.
Of course it was.
Dude,
it's fantastic.
How great is it to go through life?
Yeah.
Like, you wear pants that show off your hog, and chicks go, oh, my God, and they throw hotel keys at you. Like, what is that? Is there any better feeling than that?
No.
Of course not.
Did you ever take a hotel key off the stage and not know who you were going to see and just do it?
No, I've never done that.
You had, what would you have, like the roadies and stuff, like, kind of tell you who was who and what was what?
Exactly.
See, comics, like, most good comics have small units because they're covering up their small unit with comedy or whatever. It's just being like, all the comics that have big units aren't that good.
Richard Pryor had a big dick.
Did he really?
Yes.
Okay, so one guy.
Leave it to Voss.
Because it was legendary. We're just joking with Tom about his penis. You're going into like a real psychological profile.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of people have small penises, and our fathers gambled with Tom Jones, thank God. Creep.
So the new album. What was the? What the hell am I trying to say here? Oh, you have people write your music, or you?
Yeah, well, when I signed with S-Curve, is the label that I'm with here, and so they were getting me songs, that had already been recorded, and I said I want some new stuff, and then they started getting me new songs, which I was not excited about. So I thought, well, I better get in with the songwriters and work with them, and tell them what I want.
Oh, okay.
Rather than wait until songs show up, So that's what I did. Each writer that came in, I worked with them, and told them.
That's, I guess, after a time you figure out which songs are best suited for you.
Yeah.
Because it must be hard to have somebody else write a song for you and then look at it and go.
Well, nine times out of 10, they'll be something to do with sex. You know what I mean? And
of course.
Which is fine if it's a cool song. Like Sex Bomb is a very clever song.
Right.
So that's fine. But you don't come up with many of those. The other ones are sort of just blatant. And not clever. So that stuff, like one songwriter wrote, "You look good with my T-shirt on. You look even better with it off." And I said, I think that's we need to move.
Yeah, the sexuality in the Tom Jones songs has been very subtle.
Yeah.
Like that. I guess you leave the literal to the hotel room.
Well,
whatever.
So that's what I did. I got with him and sort of started to write with them and change things around and say, so that's and thank God it turned out well. I mean, we had I recorded a lot of songs, and then we picked what we feel is the best out of the bunch, to put on this CD.
How many dates do you tour a year? I mean, you're always out.
Yeah, about 200 shows, give or take.
Jesus. Do you get a regular gig in Vegas?
Yeah.
Where are you in Vegas?
MGM.
Oh, okay.
I saw you at the Riviera years ago, didn't you? I saw you upstairs at the Riviera.
Not the Riviera, Caesar's Palace. I was at the Flamingo, Caesar's Palace, Bally's I was in for a while.
Oh, maybe it was Bally's. It was Bally's.
Bally's, yeah.
Bally's, yeah, I was working Catch a
Have you noticed how Vegas has changed a lot over the years? Like years ago, it was all like the wise guys that ran it and took care of everybody, and now it's just a bunch of corporate people.
Yeah.
Who just don't seem to take care of the talent as well.
It's easier now because they only want you to do one show a night. As when I was there in the 60s, and 70s, I used to do 2 shows a night, every night for a month.
Oh, really?
And after a while, you start to get...
Wow.
That was... my voice was suffering a bit from that.
A little taxing on your voice.
Especially in Vegas. It's dry there, so...
And Tom, maybe a few of your friends. Yeah. You could get a few of your friends to sing at a club.
Yeah, right. So, but they were there, though.
I think we would work well together if I opened for you. I think we'd be...
Jesus.
I'm saying...
He'd rather have Joe work with him again.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm a top-notch comic. There's no audience I can't work. Clean, Vegas. I'm telling you, I think we'd be good. Maybe your opening act gets sick or whatever, and you need a Rich Voss. I'm just looking out for the team.
To make the audience sick.
Yeah. Or maybe the bulge in his pants isn't available, so he needs a replacement, which I'm sure you'd be perfect as. He doesn't need a comic opener. You don't use comics as openers, do you?
Not anymore. I do the 90 minutes myself now.
Yeah. Did you use comics as openers?
I used to, yeah.
Did any of them bomb?
No, they were all pretty good. George Wallace was with me for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jay Leno used to open for me.
Jesus Christ, The Who and Jay Leno. That's not bad on the credentials list.
Got a few.
I saw George Wallace a couple weeks ago. He's still in Vegas. He's at the Pink Flamingo.
At the Flamingo, yeah.
So you're going out. When are you going out to promote this?
Well,
you're out. I mean, like tour dates. Like you're out right now doing the press. But I mean, when are you going? You have concert dates and stuff.
Yeah, I will do next year now because I'll be promoting all the way up to Christmas, all over. You know, I got to go to Europe next week.
Yeah, he has to do press all over the world.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
really.
You're recognizable everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean that's something. You could go to Japan and they're like, "Oh, Tom Jones."
Yeah.
When I do a gig, I fly in the day of. There's always tickets available. So I go on the local radio and I tap dance and beg, and then hopefully people show up. It's got to be nice to go to Europe and then go to Africa, wherever it is you go.
Yeah.
I probably could have picked a better second country than Africa after
Yeah.
Europe for
He's
Tom
playing-
Jones's audience, but
Yeah.
I'm a non-improving idiot.
The
Is there
Kenya
anybody?
Dust Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I really am. So, how is this Sierra Leone? And are the pirate hijackings going to affect you in Somalia? I'm a true asshole, Tom. My apologies. Anybody you'd like to collaborate with that you haven't yet, that you'd love to do something with?
Yeah, there's singers. I mean, Whitney Houston, I think is. I don't know what she's singing like right now, but she's got a great voice. So I think a duet with her would be nice. Alicia Keys, I like.
No, she's great.
Duffy, is a Welsh singer.
I've seen Duffy on in the Starbucks. Like they have her. It's a her, right? Or is it a he?
Yes, go.
Okay, I've seen her CDs in
The
Starbucks.
CDs, and
they're
so not working in Starbucks.
No,
That would be
right.
atrocious. A worse future than Joe Voss.
Right.
Get over your father, man.
You remember Joe Voss? Like Joe Voss had been outside 5 minutes ago, waving, yelling, "Tom, it's me, Joe Voss." So Tom's memory is obviously really good. Do you remember my name?
Yeah.
God damn it, he has no idea who I am. It's just me.
Yes, I do. I've seen you on television doing stand-up.
Have you really?
Holy wow!
Tom and I are chatting.
I hate
Wow,
this.
that makes me. What can two men of similar ilk discuss something? Couple
Yeah,
of men
where are you going to find one?
Have you really?
Yes, really.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, very
A guy
funny.
like Tom
Wow.
Jones had to get up and turn the channel because of me. It's funny. He was banging one time and something just wrecked the vibe. Oh, it's that little man with the awful head shape. Wow, I'm so happy.
Oh, damn.
Well, I'm a true fan, man. I'm really happy you came in and you're going to be promoting.
Yeah.
And again, I've been harping about this album. I really have been raving about this album for the last week. When we were 2 weeks ago because we were off last week. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I think we should absolutely have Tom pick a track. We'll go to break playing it. And and man, but you don't need my help. Continued success.
Thank you.
You've been amazing over the years, and it's amazing because I do remember as a kid watching and seeing my parents just freaking out about it, and then go and see you live myself and just loving it.
Thank you.
Transcending generations, my man.
Thanks.
What song would you pick?
Give a Little Love is a good song on there.
You wouldn't pick I'm Alive. Okay.
I'm Alive. I open my show with that now.
I think we have. Okay, here's what we have to do then.
Oh, we're doing Jimmy's pick then.
No, we're doing. Here's the way it works.
Yeah.
We're doing Tom's pick right after Jimmy's pick, which is I'm Alive, and then what Tom wants.
All right.
It's up to you.
It's not up to me.
I'm not trying to
You
override
think I
Tom.
run this ship? That's fine.
The album is called 24 Hours, and it is. What's the matter? What are we playing? Oh, I'm Alive, and then what Tom wants.
I'm Alive, and then we'll play what Tom wants.
What was the one you wanted, Tom?
Give a Little Love.
Okay, so I'm Alive and Give a Little Love. We'll play both.
All right.
The great
and,
Tom Jones.
We'll be back. Tom, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm alive, and I'm seeing things mighty clear today. I'm alive. I'm alive, and I'm sitting here yelling and doing my thing. I'm alive, and I'm real. I can breathe and touch and see and feel. I'm alive. I'm a man. I don't care if I'm right or wrong, I'm a man. Nah, nah, nah,
Opie and Anthony program. Hi. Opie's away. He's on his honeymoon. He got married. He went and got married after sitting in front of me for all these years, listening to me rant and raving. He actually went and done it. Just goes to show you what that love stuff does to you, huh? You get that love stuff on you, doesn't come off. You just sit there and go, I'm in that love. I'm in that what you call love. And then you get married. I mean, I definitely, wish them the best and everything. And
of course,
they do seem like the happy couple. And, Lindsay's quite the catch.
Yeah.
But, it's like marriage. It's just, I hope it doesn't, I hope it's not one of those things that change things. You noticed a change from the time you went out with Bonnie and getting married to Bonnie?
Oh,
even before
course.
the kid.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a change. I mean, sex was so wild before it. It was like, when you're fucking a girl, you're trying to impress her. That kind of fucking.
Yeah, that the impressing, and not just the getting off fucking.
Just the fucking, even, it's my time of month, I don't care. I
right.
mean, just every time, just fucking like it's crazy and,
Still eating everything.
Just crazy. And to like, now laying in bed going, are we gonna?
Oh, fuck. How long have you been married?
3 years, but actually we had good sex the other night. She walked down to the kitchen and I banged her over the counter from behind. It's great. I love doing it from behind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can pretend she's a man?
Yeah, well, that.
Well.
But, no, I guess it changes. And then also, after the baby, forget it. I mean.
Yeah, it's all about the baby. And
it's just a whole nother form of pressure and financial pressure
and that affects the sex, like your sex
everything
life?
Does. If
really?
You watch, I think on Oprah last week they were talking about.
Look, it affects you watching fucking television. If you're watching Oprah,
I didn't by accident. I was walking by.
Oh, you're walking by.
But there was a sex therapist on saying people really after married and kids they have to schedule it. It's not like just like it's hard to just you get ready to. I remember when the baby was born, and I even did this on stage. I trying to fuck with a porno in and all this shit, and the whole time I was trying to get my limp dick in her dry pussy. I was shaking the bassinet because the baby was crying.
Fucking way.
I'm not fucking lying. Because when the baby's first born, the baby sleeps in your room and the bassinet next to you.
Does it?
So just okay. The baby fell asleep. We can fuck. But then you're trying to, and all the noise, the baby starts crying, and you're shaking the bassinet to try to calm the baby down as you're trying to fuck at the
Just
same
fuck
time.
in the bassinet so it shakes at the same time.
That's a whole other fantasy.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're coll. It's life.
No, it just seems like I'm too fucking selfish for that kind of thing. That's not life. Life is fucking enjoying yourself. When you die in your own arms, Anthony.
Listen, I
fucking
remember when I
Tony
was in
Soprano's
here,
mother said.
When I was in here,
and it's true. So just have fucking have fun.
No.
Why now is it that you're not really enjoying as much as you used to sex with the person that you've now decided that you're going to spend the rest of your fucking life with?
You're wrong. I remember when I was in studio here once, that asshole, the fucking wrestler with the soda pop, whatever, that fucking guy that sold 2,000 seats that said he was selling everything out. Go fuck yourself.
JBL, he was fine.
Oh, fuck him. He said, anybody can have a kid, or, because I said the enjoyment in life. I go, well, I have kids, and and he said, well, anybody can have a kid. You're right, anybody can have a kid, but taking on a responsibility of having a kid is a whole other thing. And you're right, the section might not be as good, but when I get to, for me, when I'm sitting in my daughter's basketball game and watching her score, or I see my kid get an honor roll, that kind of shit. All the fun you have in life.
Is that good?
What the fuck? Yeah,
I'm sure it's nice.
I don't know.
It is,
but it's not up there with blowing a load on someone.
Fucking hell.
It couldn't be.
No, because you know what? I've blown so many fucking loads in my life. Okay. It just, for me, I don't know. Everybody doesn't think that. You don't have kids, but if you had a kid, maybe
no,
it would take
I know
some of the
it does.
self-centered.
They change everything because I seen my brother and stuff now is he's fucking
Look,
gone.
in this world, you can't keep what you have unless you give it away, and that's a known fact.
Wait,
can Steve come in here, please?
You don't understand that, do you?
No, I didn't understand that you can't give it away.
It's
what?
like
What are
it's,
you doing?
it's like it's a recovery statement saying you can't keep what you have unless you give it to somebody else. So in life,
I don't know what he's talking about.
In life, whatever you have, if you don't leave anything behind to anybody, then what the fuck is the meaning?
Oh, the meaning was that you had a great time while you were here. When the blackness of death comes, that is nothingness. It won't fucking matter anyway.
Right. Okay, so and you don't want anything to carry out the legacy of Anthony?
What? I'm so fucking important. I need a legacy.
Yeah, what
I'm
legacy?
having a good time while I'm here, and I'm leaving nothing.
All right, so
I'm
that's
fucking
for you.
scorched earth policy. That's my fucking life plan. Scorched fucking earth. Scorched.
But how do you know not having kids wouldn't be a better time? You don't.
I
know
don't
that.
know. I could be laying there on my deathbed going, I wish. My only regret is I didn't have fucking kids.
No, I'm
but
not
you know
saying,
something?
but it could be a better time.
What would be better? Doing everything I want to do, only worrying about myself for the most part, or having this pressure of now you have this fucking thing that you have to worry about forever. You're worried about. You're always constantly fucking, thinking about gigs and fucking cash.
You're right, because I don't have the financial status you have. If I did,
No,
then I wouldn't have to worry about
even
that.
if I had a kid, I don't care what my financial status is. I'd still be freaking out. I wouldn't be putting a fucking movie theater in my house. I'll tell you that much. I wouldn't have a pool in my backyard. I
Okay.
wouldn't have all the guns that I have.
I've never had a movie
all my
theater or a
fun.
pool, and things I've gotten by. Big
If
deal.
you
So-
want kids, you have them. If you don't, you don't. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But people,
I like not having them. There's no glory. There's no
There you
valor in
go.
having them,
Yeah.
and there's no shame in not having them. Like
You're
whatever
right.
is your, as a responsible person.
Jimmy mediated.
But no. But I mean, for all of us, like whatever is your personal thing, like your choice, whatever you want, you do.
Yeah.
There are people who love being parents, and they're good parents. Me, I don't want to be a parent.
often wonder that, though, if they honestly love it.
Yeah, I think there's enough to
They're
that
always
too.
bitching about it.
No, I don't. You never hear me bitch about my kids ever. I don't bitch about my kids.
No.
And they
You
fucking
bitch about your wife
once in a while.
and the
But I'm
kids.
not even the hacky guy that cares and bitch about his wife. I'm fucking 51, so I've done what. There's nothing left to do. What am I going to do?
That's a nice outlook.
You know, what the
I'm
fuck is
spent. There's nothing left to
Hold on,
do.
listen,
Fuck
how
it.
about succeed?
I've already.
Shut up and let my friend laugh at you.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, we'll leave that at
I have
that.
a question for Steve.
Yes.
Jimmy.
I want to hear you had Steve asked Tom Jones a
Oh, yeah.
question, and apparently it was stammering.
Oh no, it was. I actually would have said it on the air, but I didn't want to interrupt because I knew we didn't have a lot of time with him.
So it was taped. So I want to know, can we hear it?
No, we can't because I deleted it
Why would you-
intentionally.
why would you do that?
Because I'm in a fucking asshole. That's why. No, because I'll tell it right now.
No, but why would you?
No, because it would have to be the exchange between
like,
you
why
and
would-
There was no
Tom
exchange.
and-
He,
Why would
like
you
there,
delete-
there was a bunch
But
of
that's
oh
just
reallys.
it. I heard that's just it. The oh reallys. And then I heard there was some stammering involved, and
Yeah, I stammer anyway, though.
And no, a little nervous, like chit chat thing that can't really be described. If we
I'll
heard
tell
it.
the story,
No,
but
why would you?
No,
delete
it's
it?
not about telling the story.
because when
It's-
I see somebody very obviously surreptitiously going over and clicking record, I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking idiot. You
Yeah,
didn't
maybe
get
if
me.
you work at fucking
it's a
the
comedy
nuclear facility, but
Yeah.
you're working at fucking the Opie and Anthony show.
It's a comedy
you know.
show, and it's a funny.
I understand that. I'll tell the story.
No,
I
it's
know.
not
That's not
about
what we're
telling the
talking
story.
about.
It's about having the tape of you stammering in front of Tom Jones.
You're like, why wouldn't you?
Like that would be the good
when
thing.
there's so much disastrous audio on all of us. Like,
Disastrous.
It really wasn't. Honestly, dude, it wasn't. It was sort of a matter of fact thing.
I don't know. Sam seemed to think it was
Yeah,
pretty
well,
good.
because Sam's an instigator, and whatever Sam thinks he can instigate and stir shit up on, he will. But I'll tell you right now, the story. I'll tell the story right
yeah,
now. if
but
you
the
understand.
story is not.
No, it's
I know
not
the story,
story.
is me fumbling in. I know the story is me
Yeah,
fumbling
it's
in front
not
of
the
Tom
story.
Jones.
So
It's
why
the
did-
execution of the story at the time.
To teach Sam a lesson, why would you hurt the show?
No, it's
That
not.
would
It
have
has
been-
nothing to do with Sam. Sam didn't tape it.
Well, whoever. Why would you delete that when you knew it was like I made an ass out of myself? That'd be funny on the air.
Yeah.
I don't comprehend that. Like, there's nothing unless it was something I said that I shouldn't have said, whatever. But like anything for the
Personal,
air.
you
I don't
blurted
know.
out
You know
your
what? Quite
address.
frankly, I don't really know if it's. I it was such a nothing thing, but in retrospect, I was sort of like, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up. Maybe it wasn't something I should have said. You know, like, I don't know. You know, it was like one of those things like, you know, fuck it. You know, if they want to say it, I'll say it on the air, but I'm not going to.
Why would you delete the audio, I'm saying? Like,
do you know how much audio I've deleted over the past 10 years that was just like, you know?
No, but you did that purposely,
Probably
like.
would have been the best stuff ever.
Nah. You know, please. I get called a faggot and incompetent on a regular basis. You know, so
No,
then you come here.
Yeah,
This is a legitimate question. Actually.
Yeah, I understand it's legitimate. It's a legitimate question.
Look,
Yes, he recorded it. Yes, I deleted it intentionally. Absolutely.
why wouldn't you think about it would be funny on the radio show?
A 5-second piece of audio of me getting hit in the face with granny panties at a fucking Tom Jones show.
No. You.
If it was nothing,
I
why
comprehend
would you-
exactly what you're saying. Okay.
Like you were thinking, like I don't want to look bad on the air.
No, dude, I look bad on the air every day. Every day, I get made out. Yeah.
But who?
But I'm serious. I don't know why you would delete that. I can't.
Well, if you think it was a crime against nature, then I apologize.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm asking a legit question.
And I'm giving you a legitimate answer.
You're
I thought
not,
it was
though.
stupid. I thought it was stupid audio. It didn't sound. It sounded like dumb.
If it's you stammering in front of Tom Jones, then
It would
it's
have been funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like me stammering horribly. Should I have deleted the Zach Wilde interview because it was?
You know,
me
honestly,
stammering?
in retrospect, I never thought that Zach Wilde thing was going to be as fucking funny as it was.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
why would you delete when you know what we do?
Honestly, because it was such an obvious attempt. If I didn't catch him out of the corner of my eye going record,
But
I would have fucking let it go. I've been caught so
it
many
was-
times barking dumb shit into microphones that I've just let go completely.
So it was to keep somebody else from having pulled one over on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that was more important than audio.
But the
for
audio
show.
from the
At
show
the time, yeah.
for the show is like, you know, that seems to be paramount here.
Yeah, I understand. I understand, and I understand, Jem. You know, and if it was a horrible, horrible offense that I've committed, then I apologize.
Like, even if it did suck, let's say we played it and it sucked, then we would jump on the person that said this is great audio. Then that we'd have played it and gone like, oh, dude, this is nothing. What were you just trying to get on Steve? You know, you're fucking being an asshole. Like, it would have worked if what you said is true, you know.
I've been called queer, incompetent, and a number of things every day. Can I get a break once? You know,
I'm not even not giving you a break. I'm asking you.
Yeah, and I'm fessing up. I completely deleted it on my own.
Is it completely deleted?
It's gone because I know how to. I know how to get rid of things completely. And
oh,
the Tom Jones liners are in there; those are safe.
Well, that isn't really,
you know. But you know, me talking to Tom Jones is not.
I don't get it, man.
I just thought that would have been
Well,
fun.
I know the pain of being tormented, and I'm going to have to try to turn my character around, too.
This is one they didn't get. You
It's
know
not
what?
about, dude. It's not about them getting it. It's about the show.
I understand, Jim.
It's not about Danny or Iraq or whoever it was. It's not about one guy one-upping the other guy.
Derek.
Or whoever it was. It's not.
And after 10
Sam.
years, I don't get that. I get it. I get it. Why? Considering every chance that there's possibly given, I get fucking humiliated and fucking browbeaten as as do a lot of people. I caught one. Fuck him. No, you don't get this chance.
Oh, well, it's not fuck them. It's fuck us.
No, it's not fuck you.
Yes, it is.
No,
because,
it's not, Jim.
Dude,
it was a 5-second piece of audio.
It is, though. It's like in the sense that I've brought in every humiliating, awful piece of audio. I've never asked for a piece of audio to be.
I've never asked to be exempt from fucking things, with the exception of this one time. How many fucking times have
well,
humiliated
you just said
pieces
you've deleted tons of audio over the years.
Yeah, but I mean of myself, making a jackass of myself.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. You're not hearing me. Like me in the studio going, that was dumb, that was dumb. But if I'm in the studio with Derek and and I'm stammering into a microphone, he keeps it and he fucking either gives it to you or he doesn't give it to you. It happens all the time.
Steve.
Iraqis.
It was very obvious we were recording. We were not trying to hide it from you. It was also not done in a malicious way. It was a very honest moment that you were having with him where you were explaining a story, whether he was interested or not. Steve was really just a little set off by talking to Tom Jones and sharing this experience.
Yeah,
that's all it was. It wasn't to, hey, Steve's an asshole, let's smash him by using this audio. Maybe hidden under that, but
if it's gotten to a point
it was a
where
very honest moment.
Steve makes it sound like whatever story, like whatever the audio was, be it good or bad, we were somehow going to call him queer and incompetent because of the story. It's like it's not about that because you keep bringing it up, and it seems to me like you're the only one that brings it up half the time. And it was just a goofy piece of audio. It would have got played, and if it got nothing, it got nothing. But sometimes stuff just works. This show of all shows, I mean, anybody should know the weird shit that we decide to pick up and run. Well, I'm fucking that this show runs with. It's
I'm
anything.
sure it'll happen
anything
again. I'm sure there will be another piece of audio.
It's not about the audio. It's not like, oh, you missed the audio. It's about like something's going on where the first instinct when something ridiculous happens is they're not going to get me.
It's to erase it, yeah.
And like let's get rid of that instead of which the theme of this show is supposed to be.
Everybody, every man for himself. Everybody smash each other in the nuts.
Not even about that. It's about we have a fucking audience to entertain. I mean, I know you know this, but I'm saying that.
I'm aware
and
of
half
that.
of that shit. That's the entertaining stuff. Is our disastrous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
funniest stuff is when we're fucking up.
Yeah, and it's like it's gotten to a point behind the scenes where that's something that, like, your first instinct isn't like, oh, yeah, I'm an ass. That'll be funny. Like, I get why that would be funny. Like when I hear the me and Zach Wilde, or I'm a blithering idiot.
What about the dress or the dress? Something about the dress?
I mean, I immediately know that's an awful piece of interview audio. Who's Zach Wilde?
Deuce Chill.
What's that?
Inducing.
Who's Zach Wilde? It's
he's Ozzy's guitar player.
Oh. It's I immediately know like that's good for. It's awful, and like instinctively, like your first instinct is fuck them. They're not going to get me.
Yeah, I guess we can't go around with that mindset.
I mean, I'm not even saying it's totally his fault. Whatever it is, it's got to. It's
well, yeah, it does have to stop. Why is my mindset? Fuck them. They're not going to get me this time.
It has to be worked out. Whatever it is, it has to be worked out.
You're right. Absolutely.
It's like little. Not that that's ruining the show any more than me babbling about it, but.
No, it's.
How about?
Just
do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Absolutely.
Maybe once a month, a Steve Appreciation Day. So
no, I don't think that needs to be done. Thank you very much.
I'm
Rich.
looking out. I'm trying to be a team
I
player.
appreciate it, Rich.
Sam is saying yes.
I like that idea.
I listen.
No, hey, how come? Why has my attitude changed to fuck them? They're not going to get me. I don't know. That's not a question for me. I don't really know. I don't really know. But trying to lead a fucking derelict pack of misfits is not the easiest.
What do you think
That's
needs
Pappy
to be done?
Boyington.
What? I don't know. How do you? This is not the easiest position to be in. I'll tell you right now.
I'm not saying it is, but I mean, for us as on air, it's at times easy, at times it's not easy.
I understand that.
Anything that
and I am
affects-
not one to fucking. I am not one to every day sit in my little cubby and fucking figure out how I'm going to ruin the goddamn show.
I didn't say you were.
I know, but I don't want that to be the implication.
It's not. It's
Okay.
really not. It's simply about this. This one, like sometimes little things happen that are kind of shed light onto the way things are, and this is. It's not about
that's
the
one of
Tom
those
Jones
things,
question.
right?
This is one of those little things like where instinctively you ran over, get rid of that, and it's like, dude, that's what we like. That's anything that would be bad was great on the air.
Yeah, the issue has nothing now to do with the recording or what was recorded or wasn't recorded. It's now the reason why you would delete something like that instead of just letting them grab it and bring it in here and we'll all goof around and say how.
Maybe I'm just far too sensitive. Maybe I'm just way too sensitive.
Dude, all of our strongest value, all of our strongest asset is what we are on the air. Like,
Sure.
I mean, in any, like that, you know what I mean? As much as we tease E-Rock and stuff like that, like I've always said, he's irreplaceable because he's a fucking mess. And E-Rock, if you're hearing this, I love you. He's a mess, but he's always bringing something. But he's a mess. E-Rock, you know that. But it's like, that's great to listen to.
And you know what? And Steve was saying how it was just a nothing piece of audio. Well, it would have worked great. I mean, let's say it was a nothing piece of audio, and Eric was like, "Oh, because you ran in here with the big story."
Yeah,
Imagine if there was just nothing there,
Nothing
and it fell
there.
on his face, and we just got to smash Eric for 20
Then
minutes.
Steve wouldn't have gotten a
He's off the
bruise.
hook.
It would have been fucking E-Rock that would have just gotten hammered saying,
Well, all right.
"You brought this in as something good."
My
Yeah.
sensitivity level has been fucking raised so goddamn much over the past couple of years that I'm always constantly looking over my shoulder, and that's not entirely internal paranoia.
I'm
all
not
right?
saying you're paranoid. No. But like,
Yeah, and you're right. It's got to be fixed, and it's got to be addressed. I wish I knew. I wish I had the fucking magic bullet to fix it, but
Uh-oh. Bullets.
Or bullets.
Well, Voss, like here's a perfect example. Like Voss is, I knew he'd be afraid to act with Chaz Palminteri, and it was like as disastrous as that was for a performer. I'm saying this nicely, but like he basically
Louis Beans.
Yeah, I mean, you humiliated yourself. I'm saying, Rich.
Hey, hold on a second. I had to fucking serenade my girlfriend in front of fucking on national radio.
Dude, no one is saying.
So I mean,
no one's a bigger believer in Steve audio on the air than I am. Believe me.
I know.
I'm a fan.
I think I pulled through that audition. I mean, that read pretty well.
Terrible.
Really? Yeah. But it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the audio. No one's saying that you haven't sacrificed or humiliated. I mean, of course. I'm only saying when the instinct is to jump in and get rid of it.
That shouldn't be there.
There's something going on that's not good.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I completely agree with you.
The instinct should absolutely be like, all right, they got me on this one.
Like you should have said, save that.
Here
make sure
it
you
comes
got
on
that.
the air. Yeah, it's going to get on the air.
I didn't realize. There you go.
But dude, that's great.
I'm not cringing at that one.
I know. You should be. It's horrible.
I'm not. Dude, there's 8,000 of those fucking clips. But yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm entirely too sensitive at this point after being fucking bludgeoned.
Well,
that's how you executive produce.
Well, what is your response to it? Like
I ruin things.
There was one.
And I don't give a shit. You're right.
That's funny.
Play that one.
Yeah. Well, I think we ought to, think a little bit more about those situations before hitting the nuclear button that deletes something that might be gold.
Because you want to be liked, and I like you.
You know what, dude? I've so gotten past that. I understand your point. Your point is I want to be liked by everybody, and the position I'm in, I cannot be.
Right?
Why?
No, it cannot.
Because you bring this up a lot, and I find this to be fascinating.
You cannot be in a position of authority where you have to administer some kind.
Steve thinks that no one's allowed to like him, or something. Like he's got some weird. Like he puts up this huge barrier where you can't be friends because he's above you or something like that.
Steve feels like this. And Steve feels like he's up against three people. He feels like he's up against you, Travis, and Sam, and E-Rock to a certain degree. And that you guys probably don't respect him or like him. I think you feel like you're not respected.
Yeah, completely valid, and in a situation where you, on a constant basis, have to subject yourself to ridicule, and that barrier that
works.
Hold on a second, let me finish. I'm not done
though.
talking. There's that line between on air and off air gets blurred.
No, it doesn't.
It
doesn't get blurred.
It
Steve.
does.
No, it never does. When have I ever in the office called you gay, queer?
How many times have you
everything
seriously?
that you bring up on the air? Because this is another thing that you bring up a lot, where you say that the shit goes down. You like to say that the staff doesn't know when we're not on the air anymore, and it's completely different. The kind of behavior that goes on the air is completely different off the air. But you seem to think that it continues when in fact it doesn't. It doesn't.
No, I'm not saying exactly.
We'll play goofy gags on you occasionally. We'll pry off every key on your keyboard and rearrange them.
which is now somebody's responsibility. But it's just goofy stuff. I know. Well, the difference. I've made somebody accountable for that. By the way, so
done. Here's the difference. You look at that with rage. We just like if somebody did that to my keyboard. If I came in the morning and my keyboard was all mixed up, I would just start laughing. It's funny.
I wouldn't know the difference.
Steve doesn't.
I don't. And
thought he was seeing double from the night before.
I actually thought about this. Whereas this show is comprised of people who, by and large, I think got picked on a lot in high school, and probably in their formative years got picked on a lot. And I'm one of them. Whereas a lot of people had to develop, cerebral weaponry. To combat those things, I was able to smash people's faces into concrete. With impunity.
Wow.
Unfortunately, you can't do that once you hit a certain age.
Where's the point of this?
Why not? The point of that is, I don't have some of those. I'm not as adept, probably, I'm not as quick-witted as some of the other people are.
So you'd rather smash somebody with your meat fists?
Absolutely.
Well, I guess that's where we're different because
Wait, you used to beat up kid, they picked on you and you used to just fuck them up in school.
Absolutely.
Just really just.
I used to fucking ram people's faces into fucking radiators and fucking
Would
sidewalks.
they stop fucking with you after that?
Yeah.
Grr.
But it's
Why
like,
not?
It has to be.
Get the fuck out now.
Oh, see, there was some good acting. It has to be fun, man. I'm not shit on you. I'm for all this. If this isn't fucking fun, like if this is a fucking unpleasant place to come, then what the fuck are we doing? It shouldn't be.
No.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Can I play devil's advocate and say why?
If you can
Steve's
spell
point? Steve's point is.
I know
If he gets
Steve's
abused,
point.
he can't come
Steve's
back.
point is
he's not coming
that he's
back and
gay.
abusing.
Oh,
You can
sorry.
abuse. See, you could take abuse because you give it out. You have the opportunity to abuse. He doesn't have the opportunity to come on the air and abuse. Right? No, it's a valid point.
What do you mean?
The devil's
It's
lullaby.
It's a valid point. He's not. He just said it. He's
Shut
not
up
verbally.
and let me laugh at my friend's comment.
He's verbally not coming back on the air and getting even with anybody. So all his rage is physical, which he can't do now. You can verbally.
I got it.
All right. So
He's
then
explaining.
agree. Then
He's
agree and
explaining what
see
Steve explained completely.
Yeah.
What Steve is saying is that he's frustrated that he can't punch our faces. That's what
Absolutely.
he's saying.
Well,
Absolutely.
he's saying that like if you've Steve when he's been fucked with, I mean that was how he dealt with stuff, and if he feels like I don't think he's saying it that literally, but I mean
No,
I'm sure
not
at
not
times-
that literally, but yeah. I mean,
at times. But point is, it's got to be fun. We can't. None of us. We can't have this aggressive atmosphere. It's got to be fucking fun, man.
Yeah. Jesus, Rich.
I'm a big fan of Steve's.
So am I. But that's not the point. I'm a big fan of all these guys. I mean, they all contribute for real. I mean, it's like, but we have to fucking have fun
real.
here.
Yeah, we really do. And we have to keep in mind that whatever happens, it could be fodder for the air. You know? If I think if you had said something like, the tape is there and it's like, oh, guys, I said something that was kind of stupid, we would be like, was it just talking to Tom Jones? Yeah. Oh, come on, that's going on the air. We'll goof on it. Or if it was, my dress got out, we'd never do that.
No, I
or
understand
something
that.
about a relationship or this or that or the whatever. That shit would never get out. But something as silly as just stammering because you're in, like it was said, an honest moment in front of Tom Jones where you're getting a little fucked up about it. That's kind of funny. I've gotten plenty of moments like that where. Oh, what is that? Oh, great.
This is this just reminded me of is from an old NEW bit where Anthony was trying to do a read for wiper blades.
Yes.
I think it had to be in Spanish.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect example of shit that it could have been deleted. And Steve, you love telling me how long you've been in the business. I've only been in this business as long as you brought me into it.
I understand
So
that.
I've already learned to shut my mouth around open microphones, and I understand that if I go and I do, and let's say Derek pulls me aside, he wants me to read something, I know that anything I say in that room is potential fodder for air. And there's shit that I've said that he's used in Saturday Night Virus promos. I knew it was there. I was like, I know he's going to use that.
He knows how to keep his mouth
And I've
shut
done
in
it
front of
tons of
a
times.
recording
And
thing.
I've done it tons of times.
He doesn't know how to
We
keep his mouth shut in front of a live on-air mic. That's.
But I'm just saying it's fair game. I think once it's been digitized, it's fair game.
You know what, dude? In this one specific instance, I turned the mic off because I cut the liners with Tom Jones. I turned the mics off, potted everything down. Then I was in the corner talking to him, and they were potted back up, and recorders pressed again. So it wasn't like I carelessly left anything on. So, if my attitude needs an adjustment, well,
I just think it's more that the mindset has to be that material for the show is paramount.
Tantamount,
That's
yes.
the fucking.
You sound to me like a
Perfect.
guy who has given up. Like when you're talking, I'm listening to you. Like you feel like you've given up.
no, not even giving up.
I have.
You sound defeated.
It's a grueling fucking experience to do this sometimes.
Why?
It shouldn't,
shouldn't be.
It really shouldn't be.
The stressors are different. The stressors are different, absolutely, than they are for you, than they are for Jim, than they are for any
That
other
is
guys.
true. I mean, but we got to take a certain hit too. I mean, we got
Hey, look, dude,
I haven't taken a day to walk around in your light loafers. But
Thank you.
Yeah.
it's a queer joke.
Nah, but you can't. You got to say like they always say that if you want to understand a man, you should saturate.
Delete that!
No, I'm kidding.
You should what?
Sashay a mile in his shoes.
Saturate. I only wish the Pavarotti was here to photograph that moment.
Exactly. I mean, can you imagine if this monumental idiot to my left, which is Voss right now thinks I'm talking about Steve.
How come everybody has such a good time around here except for you? Like you're always not the one not having everything is a mess. Everything is running around. It's a train wreck. It's sweating. It's putting your hands on your brow and breathing heavily and sweaty.
I'm a fucking stressed out guy. What
Why?
can I tell you? Why? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if you ask me what do I not like about this job, I'd say waking up in the morning.
Yeah, that is the worst
and
part.
That's where it ends.
Once I'm like awake and on my way in, then it gets better. What's the matter,
you're
Jimmy?
listening to Intervention with
I don't understand why.
Intervention.
Why
by the
we
way.
all get along just fine, except for Steve. He just can't do it.
Intervention.
What happened?
No, I'm doing this thing at Yale. A class.
What?
Yeah, I'm teaching a class at Yale.
No, you're not.
A one-time thing about comedy, I'm like, is it this Wednesday? I think I have it in my book wrong.
Yale?
I hope not.
Well,
you're not here on Wednesday too.
No, it's a nighttime thing. I think.
Ooh, he's going to yell at you.
I hope it's not this week.
All right. Well, I think we got to keep that in mind.
Do you get paid?
Yeah.
No.
Next time, maybe.
Just walk out of the room smiling and prepare for another.
Well, you don't have to be so enraged that it's happening. Like, I know when I walk in, there are going to be times where I'm going to be fucking firmly planted under the bus.
Sure, it's happened to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm exempt from a fucking trouncing. I've been fucking.
But I look at it like it's kind of fun. It's it's good for the show. It's it's what it is. We bash the shit out of friends. Bash the shit out of each other. It's what they do. We don't talk nicely to each other. We're a bunch of douchebags to each other. It makes
no, that's valid.
Makes for fun radio, and
I think I'm hypersensitive to a lot of shit, and that's one of my faults. Absolutely. I think I'm completely hypersensitive to a lot of shit. I also think that there's a lot of stuff that I have to deal with too.
See, and I just avoided a gay joke because I'm being.
What?
Being nice guy, Jimmy?
You don't have to be a nice guy, Jimmy. I can, the gay jokes I've gotten used to at this point. But
You said I've avoided a lot of shit. I was going to say, unless it was on your tip of your penis, but I didn't.
Oddly enough.
Oddly enough.
It is not an easy position to be caught in between talent and the powers that be that are signing your paychecks every week. Sometimes there are odd positions to get put into, and it becomes very stressful.
Well, I don't think you'd ever find a situation where the powers that be would be mad that you didn't delete something on there.
I'm not talking
That's
about
something
that.
different.
I'm talking about in the overall picture. You want to know why I'm so stressed out?
Yes.
It's not easy. All right, I'm not saying it has to be. I'll work my ass off, but it's stressful. It's stressful being in a situation where you have to deal with a volatile on-air environment, and then people who are trying to enforce rules on that volatile on-air environment, and then being the intermediary in between the two parties.
Do you have kids?
Trying to.
Good for you. That's all that matters when it
Working
all
on it.
end and done.
Shut up. Fucking kids.
Yeah, let him talk.
Oh, Uncle Paul.
57 years.
You know what? If you want to relieve some of that stress, December 25th and 26th, I'll be at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, and maybe you come down and
Really going to work on Christmas Day?
No, 26th and 27th. I said, dummy.
You said 25th.
Yes, I did. Play the tape. I said
Okay.
August. I mean December 26th and
August.
20th.
Go to bed.
Why did I say? What did I say?
You said 25 and 26.
Oh, sorry, I said 26 and 27. And even if I was working Christmas Day, I'm a Jew. I don't give a fuck about your dumb holiday of lights.
That's true. Holiday of Lights. That's not
us.
That's
us.
you, you dummy.
Oh, fuck, whatever.
Holiday of Lights.
It's a festival.
It's a festival of
Oh,
lights.
Yeah. You're right. Whatever.
Boy, you are a lousy Jew.
Well, you're all technical, you fuckers, man. That's the
Technical?
problem.
You
Maybe
were,
that's
off
the
by, you
problem.
were off by a messiah.
Well,
A holiday. You're terrible.
All right, Derek has the clip, and
here it is.
anybody still cares about this.
You know what? If you want to relieve some of that stress, December 25th and 26th, I'll get corrected.
There you go.
You have to do that a lot, don't you?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Boss has to stand up.
Of the jury.
I'm in a lot of physical pain today.
Really?
God damn it. Fuck, man. Just when the pain goes away in your stomach for months.
I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds terrible.
It's fucking horrible. It feels like my insides are just falling out.
Were you
They
pink
probably are.
socked?
Was I what?
Somebody gave Rich a pink sock.
Pink socked boss.
What's a pink sock?
Come on.
It's when a guy pulls his large penis out of your ass, how the skin of your asshole grips his dick and he gets pulled out a little like a pink sock. And then his cock finally peels off. And your skin hangs out stupidly for a minute until you tuck it back in forcefully with an emery board.
Boss, it kind of is like this.
No, that's not.
Yeah, it is.
God,
That's a rectal prolapse. That's where the inside of your asshole falls out.
Well, how does that
it looks like a
happen?
Jolly Rancher. That looks
Yeah.
tasty.
Can that happen from farting
Like
or
so
something?
cherry-like.
Can that happen from trying to shit?
Farting? No.
Farting. You're farting out a fucking acetylene
Look at that
torch
fucking thing.
gas tank.
Cannonball. What would you be?
What do you eat? Anvils?
Maybe from like trying to pinch out a loaf. Could that happen?
Danny can
No.
pull these pictures up in seconds.
Exactly.
I love it. A prolapsed asshole. Oh, another one?
Yeah, connection here is so slow.
That's good. Scroll.
No, this is actually something I'm working on. I don't
Uh-oh.
want to spoil it. I don't
On
want to
a
spoil
resume?
No, I took care of that last week.
Good one.
Yeah. I want to hear. I want to hear my faux pas on that commercial.
Oh, it's kind of long. You want to play it into break?
Well, I don't want to play the whole thing. Then
You want to just start it?
hear
and
me
just,
getting
all right.
angry.
Whenever you get uncomfortable, just.
Oh, it'll be instantly. Believe me.
All right, here we go.
Delete it.
Check it out.
You gotta be done super fast.
What do I gotta say? Which ones? All of them?
This one, that one, that one, and that one.
Yeah. Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Oh. See your way clear. See your way clear with Bosch. No, I'm just laughing. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch Micro Edge Excel. Oh my God. That's Bosch Micro Edge wiper blades. Bosch Micro Edge wiper blades. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Micro Edge Bosch blades. You gotta be me. Okay. Whew. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss. Take it from there, right? See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch Micro Edge. That's rough. Holy See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch Micro Edge wiper blade. You know why? It doesn't say Excel in the second one.
Bosch Micro Edge.
See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch. Are you kidding me? I'll keep trying. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss. It's f***ing impossible. This is a tongue twister. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch Micro Edge wiper blades are I almost had it. $9.99 each. Okay. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss. It's Strauss. I'm like anticipating the pandemonium before it even starts. You f***ing tool. Oh man. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss Bosch. See your way. Holy f***. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now it's Strauss. Bosch Micro Edge wiper blades are priced from only $9.99 each. Save on Bosch wipe.
Oh, you had it.
I totally had it. Ready? See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel wiper blades. Right now at Strauss, Bosch Micro Edge wiper blades are priced at only $9.99 each. Save on Bosch wiper blades at... God, mother... Almost had it.
I start getting mad, I guess.
This is the fucking short version.
See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades. Right now at Strauss, Bosch Micro Edge Wiper Blades are priced at only $9.99 each. Save on Bosch Wiper Blades at Strauss Auto... you mother... Hey, you see your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades. Holy shit. Cancel your appointments. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel. This ain't gonna work. Holy shit. The Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades. See your way clear with Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades. Right now at Strauss, Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades are priced at only $9.99 each. Save on Bosch Wiper Blades at Strauss Discount Auto. Bosch Wiper Blades, my...
Dude, what was the problem? Were you having trouble saying it?
Yes!
Just kidding.
I know you are.
Oh.
Literal Jim. Yeah, the quality was really good on that recording. It was impossible to say it twice in a row.
Bosch Micro Edge.
And I was completely hammered drunk, if you recall, like I was every day at NEW. That was afternoons, so it was kind of like after the show, and after you're drinking all day, to try to say Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades was a little difficult.
Bosch Micro Edge Excel Wiper Blades. Bosch Micro Edge Excel. It's hard to say.
It is. It was very hard to say.
That was a fun one too. We didn't even have that in the system. Eric had to burn it, so I think that was the first time that ever aired on satellite.
Wow. Well, I'd like to hear the unedited version.
Yeah, if it exists.
Because I really get mad and start calling it a cunt. That'll happen. All right.
I don't know if those even exist.
No,
because they were, everything had to be edited.
I think that was pulled off of the fucking cassette tapes.
That was somebody's VHS tape
back in the old days. Oh yeah, someone's VHS. Someone used to tape the show on VHS tape.
Yeah, that would be me.
Just the audio. Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
Oh, some tool used to, some queer.
Yeah, who's the jizz bag? Oh.
Some incompetent queer.
Who's the hypersensitive?
All right, Steve.
Thank you.
Was that your girlfriend at the wedding or your wife? Your wife?
Yeah, no, that was my girlfriend.
You're not married?
Not anymore.
That's why it's his girlfriend.
That's why it's my girlfriend.
Yeah,
apparently they don't tell you that when you get married, you're supposed to stop dating. So.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
That was awful. You're divorced?
Yes, Rich.
Since when?
Yeah, I got divorced. Papers were signed 2 months ago. I think.
Well, the girl at the wedding was very attractive. Yeah. You did very well on that one.
Thank you very much, Rich.
She actually helped stupid Bob Kelly get into shape. So I want to call her to work out a plan for me.
Bob's coming in tomorrow.
Call her to curse her out. She fucking ruined a good joke.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You cost us a lot of audio.
Yeah. Wait, what is she? She's a trainer?
She's a professional bodybuilder.
No, she has AIDS and a vial, and she gives it to people, and they drink it and lose weight.
Well, she could be a nutritionist, stupid, or a trainer. She could be a nutritionist or a trainer.
Yes, I know, but to me, the AIDS joke was funny, so I said it.
But don't call me stupid. I mean, I wasn't stupid.
Sorry, Einstein.
Okay. That's a typical normal question.
Don't call you stupid. You said was the Pavarotti there.
What are you going to call her and say to help
call
you out?
me late for stupid.
Yeah. You can call me Ray, or you can call me dummy, but please don't call me stupid. You can call my syndrome Downs. I don't think you're stupid.
What's that tattoo on your left arm?
Oh, this?
You're not going to start goofing on people's tats.
No, I want to see it.
What's wrong with that? That's a cool tattoo.
I wasn't goofing
Danny
on it.
has a tattoo. It's the Little Mermaid.
Oh, it looks like the fucking camera from the when the Abbott and Costello movies would start. Remember the fucking old school cameras that were with wings and a head.
It's the cover of an old book from the 30s called Who Goes There? That's all.
Why would you?
A few books from the 30s I like.
Yeah. Who went there?
No one knows them. They all got burned.
Well, hard to translate a few.
How come it's not colored in?
It's just the way the piece was. It's the original drawing. It just wasn't colored.
Are you, how old is that?
Not very old at all. I think I got it in March.
Cool. Are
pretty
you going
good.
to start working out your arms so it looks like fucking?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was an insult. I knew it was going somewhere.
No, I didn't see the tattoo. You can only see the bottom half, so I was wondering what it was.
Or it's not
good.
a
It's fucking really good work.
Star
though.
of David.
The artist is really good.
Get a Jew tattoo like Voss has, the Star of David.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's a good one.
Are you Jewish, Danny?
Some parts of my family are, but I don't partake.
Like Ray Liotta, only the good parts.
What do you mean parts of your family, like your mom or your dad?
No,
or...
my parents don't practice. Like my grandparents barely practice, but
Well,
like they tried to keep the Jew thing happening.
Yeah.
How do you practice
I mean-
not tip?
That's such an old stereotype.
Yeah,
Old
it is,
Jews,
I know.
New Jews
That's-
tip.
Do
They
they?
never
Yeah.
they never went to.
What do you?
Do you know why old Jews don't tip? Do you know why?
Why don't all Jews tip?
I think I do know.
Oh, my.
They're cheap.
No,
I
because
don't know.
everything throughout their life was taken from them throughout history.
Oh, God, here comes a Obama line.
So
now you're talking like you're African American, that everything was taken, slavery, this, that. Make excuses. Leave a tip for the girl.
Good point.
Leave a tip. Put in a
but
dollar.
Your parents are Jews, like even though they don't practice their your religion's, you're a Jew.
Well, if that's the way that you want to look at it.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
saying
Rich wants everyone to be Jewish.
It's just I love how when somebody is supposed to be Jewish, like it's this. It's like, oh well, you're Jewish. No, I don't practice I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist.
Okay,
yeah, but your parents
I
are
don't-
Jewish. Yeah, I guess. Well, so
So?
you're Jewish. No, Rich, you have to practice a religion to be that religion.
No, that's not true at
Yes,
all.
it is
you can
true.
Still, you can still be it, but you don't follow it or practice. You're still it, though. You're still it. You're still a
So
Jew.
you're saying Jew
when you
is,
fill out,
like saying you're
if
Italian.
you fill out something that says Jew or Catholic, you're going to put Jew. Whether you practice or not.
Nothing says Jew or Catholic on it.
Yeah,
There's nothing that asks your
Yes.
religion.
To hang at
Where
your
are you,
house.
Russia?
Who asked you that, Christ?
yeah, what potential lawsuit will I be filing that I'm checking that box off?
What I'm saying is, you don't have to practice. You still are. It's your blood. No, your blood. Your blood is that.
See, you're using Jewish like I would
Like I'm
use
a- like it's a-
Italian.
right, exactly.
Or Irish or something. No, and it's not supposed to be like
and
that.
that's a huge
I've
thing.
heard Jews say, no, it's a religion. It's not.
a religion. It's
Yeah,
not
it is,
exactly.
but
People
it's
think
still
people
blood, though.
people
It's still-
seem whatever. People no, sort of, not really. People seem to think that being Jewish is like a race of people. It's just
Right.
like, oh yeah, he's half Jewish, half Italian. It's like no, you can't be
you're right,
half
you're
Jewish.
Right. You're right. It's a
like a
religion,
half
obviously,
Catholic
but
and
it's
half
a religion
Irish.
with a bloodline from a certain area in the world, and the bloodline is a Jewish bloodline.
How come you can convert to Judaism or
Yeah.
convert to Catholicism?
Man.
But you're still not.
You can't convert to Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Right. Convert.
That's right.
He's trying his best.
That's right. The Irish actually tip their cap to the liver. That's right. Harder than a Blarney stone.
But why? Were you beat up a lot when you were a kid because you were Jewish?
No,
Why-
I just as from very early on, I was never interested in it.
He wants everyone to be Jewish.
My grandparents wanted me to get bar mitzvah. I had no interest in it whatsoever. I did it for them because they were old and going to die.
You
That's
were
what they
bar
wanted.
mitzvahed?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't hear the
okay, then
mitzvah
you are.
part.
Yeah. I'm going to the bar.
Is this place called Mitzvah?
I thought they were taking me to a club. Yeah.
That's what's
It's a bar
All
mitzvah.
right. Well, here's the bar.
Flashing neon light, bar, mitzvah, bar, mitzvah.
During the invasion of the Germans.
Can I point out that we've been on 5 rolls already, and you keep seriousing them up with fucking Jewish facts?
Let me tell you about the Holocaust.
What I'm saying
Every
is,
time we talk about
I'm half
something silly, he's like, all kidding aside, there was a lot of suffering.
no, I'm not
Rich.
saying that. What I'm saying is,
Okay.
I
We
get
were-
the same socks.
You do? We were on a bar mitzvah roll.
Pink ones.
Go ahead, go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut off your.
No,
fun.
it's okay.
I'm sorry. I was wrong.
And then
Go ahead. You let
back
Steve
in
slip
World
out.
War II, it was very sad. Well, what happened in World War II? Like, give us a fucking Voss history lesson. I love this.
I'm not giving a history. What I'm saying
love
to
these.
him is, when the Nazi troops were storming, coming in and snatching up Jews. If you said to them, "Hey, I don't practice," they wouldn't have gave a fuck. Okay, hey.
Oh, so you're saying that the Nazis, they were the ones that set the bar? Jew?
But see, Rich, I live in a time and day where they have electric cars and the internet, so I don't have to worry about some people throwing me on a train to Auschwitz. Like, I don't ever have to worry about that. So
He's taking the Nazi fucking definition of a Jew.
I know.
And that's what it
Get some more Star David tattoos.
Yeah. Okay, get some gargoyle ones. Okay, all right. You saw a book from.
Yeah, I got
wear them with your gargoyle socks.
What's that gargoyle sweater?
Gargoyle, whatever.
Get some more gargoyle.
Gargoyle. Oh, are you stupid?
I'm so tired.
I've never been that tired. And then Anthony, without missing a breath, put out some gargoyle socks.
Oh, Rich. Gem. So World War II, right? They said that a Jew is a Jew is a Jew is a Jew.
I'm not religious at all. Okay, I'm not religious, but I still believe, in
So you want all the reward with none of the work that has to go into it?
No, I don't get the reward. No, my reward is,
Oh, that was fantastic. Jimmy did what he usually does. He pulled his pants down and spread his asshole open and was probably ready to cut one right at Rich. And Rich quickly picked up a giant Sharpie and shoved it in Jim's asshole.
Push that part back.
Where you heard, ow.
But imagine if
a fake ow.
Imagine if I would have went ooh and then came on my leg. Then I would have had some splaining to do.
Well, what if you pulled out the Sharpie and it looked like this?
Another prolapsed asshole.
The realest thing about that is the Sharpie was black tipped. Oh, sorry.
Why, Rich?
Sorry. Is it hot in here?
It is now for you.
Exactly. A bomb went off, of course.
Oh, shit.
Gargoyle socks.
Fucking Rich.
Gargoyle.
You are the best. Oh, the tongue should just be cut out of your fucking head and preserved in a museum.
It should be in the
Museum
fucking
of Dummy.
the Tart Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb's glove in baseball and his tongue. Not the fattest one we've seen, but yet as many blithering, idiotic things that passed over it. That's the tongue where 10 million dumb thoughts were launched.
Oh, God damn. Fucking Rich.
Oh, my God.
God. Who doesn't love Rich Voss?
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Fuck, my eyes hurt.
Where the hell are you going to be there, Rich? Please tell the people so they can go and see you.
Fuck. January 26th and 27th. December. December.
Oh, my God. Is he the worst?
You really are a horse's patoot.
December 26th and 27th at Uncle Vinny's. And New Year's Eve. 2 shows, a Treehouse in Danbury. New Year's Eve, 2 shows.
I never got that 2 shows on New Year's Eve thing. It's kind of like you.
After the first one's done, you do another one.
Yeah, but okay, I didn't get that.
The first one I'm doing a door deal, so I need the first one to sell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because well, it's New Year's Eve, and then what happens? The people leave and got to go somewhere else. For New Year's
some
Eve?
people want to come early and then just get home early. They want to go out and do something.
Yeah,
and they're like, all right, let's just go out and do something.
What shithole is this, though?
Yeah.
Like, what is there to do but see you at this place?
Remember the worst dinner New Year's Eve we had when we left and went to that place on the
diner?
That was
we
horrible.
We were off the air at the time. We went to the diner in Times Square.
Patrice.
Was he with us?
Yeah, Patrice was there.
You with your chick?
I was there with Melinda. You were there.
That was like 2004.
And it was the worst shit. You got this disgusting fucking herring shit, or
did I? No.
It was disgusting. And then he kept sending it back because it was bad.
That was the worst fucking.
And who brought us there? Who said it was great? Is that
Probably
your
picking-
fault?
No, it wasn't. I've never eaten there
I'll
before.
blame it on the black guy.
Yeah, I don't know who else could have said it. Maybe it was
I don't
you.
know. Come here. The bananas are great.
That place was terrible.
Stunk.
How do we all end up? How do we end up with you guys? Though? 'Cause, you were at Dangerfields that night or something, weren't you?
I think I was at Caroline's.
At Caroline's.
We
I
used
was
to go
working
to Caroline's
Caroline's.
for New Year's
Yeah.
Eve a lot, and then you started having like comics that I didn't really like there on New Year's Eve.
And Opie and Anthony show doing a pay-per-view.
Oh yes,
I'm going to make that announcement.
just make it.
Yes.
and we'll make it happen.
We are doing a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Finally.
we'll put the word out on
What do you mean?
who and what we need
To
to get this done.
Can I come?
We will want some audience participation. We'll put the word out, let you know what we're looking for, and you could be part of it.
Yes, you can be.
Mm-hmm. Just can't get over Rich's mouth.
Gargoyle.
Yeah, Gargoyle. What do we got? Are we doing What Did We Learn, or are we doing Line of the Day?
We can do What Did We Learn? I think that we should probably announce that we're going to do What Did We Learn. We
I
can
wouldn't
take
take one phone call today.
Take a
What's the
quick
phone
break and
call?
we can come
What's the
back.
phone number?
I hate the phones.
Phone number is 866
If you haven't noticed.
1 wow. That's 866-969-1969 if you want to call with your What Did You Learns. How about we take a quick break and we come back?
We could do that and finish
And wrap
up
it
the program with What Did We Learn?
I like
Very good. On this Opie and Anthony show.
On Monday.
Robert De Niro
It's not what you say, it's what he sees.
in his directorial debut,
We can't accept that.
starring Chaz Palminteri
I didn't give you. I gave you your son.
and Rich Voss.
Louie, Beans, I want my money.
A Bronx Tale.
Beans, you can't dodge me forever.
Come on, what are you doing about? What are you yelling about, huh?
John, I got a problem with this guy over here. Louie Beans, this guy owes me 20, and it's been 2 weeks now, and every time he sees me, he keeps dodging me, John. Should I crack him one or what?
The struggle of an idiotic Jewish comedian stammering his way through a few lines of film dialogue with a genuine Hollywood actor.
Listen, see, sometimes violence is not the answer. Is he a good friend of yours or not?
Nah, John, I don't even like him.
Well, there's your answer right there. Look at it this way. It costs you $20 to get rid of him. He's never going to ask you for money again. He's never going to bother you again. He's out of your life for $20. Come on, you got him cheap.
You're right, John. You're always right.
A Bronx Tale.
How do you know the right answer all the time, Johnny?
Well, I try to keep my eyes and ears open all the time, and I read.
You read?
Yeah, I read. Come on. Come on, let's go to Mario's next door and get something to eat.
Hi. Opie and Anthony show. Ooh, that was a good one. Of course, Opie still on his honeymoon. He got married. And I guess they went away to some paradise somewhere. Some people do on their honeymoon. Left us here to hold down the fort.
Yep.
To actually come in and do a show.
He is back on Wednesday.
Yes, as the new married guy. Imagine he comes back and just is like, "Oh my God, we got in such
hell.
a fight.
It's hell.
It's hell. I never thought it could be this bad, marriage." Yeah, that's how I was. Why shouldn't it happen to someone else? Please. Day one of my marriage sucked. Day one. Yeah, right from day one. You fucking believe that shit? That's what happens when you buy your wedding ring at Penn Station on your way to fucking Boston.
Wow.
Last minute kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, why not? Let me get engaged. This sounds like a good idea. I'll buy it by the piss-smelling jewelry store at Penn Station.
I bought mine at an AA meeting from a guy whose girlfriend relapsed.
Did you really?
Yeah. From I got it from
Taking
a guy.
advantage.
It's good anonymity.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, good.
I didn't use any names, dummy.
I mean, yours.
Huh? It was a AAA meeting. There's no anonymity in AAA.
Oh, my
There's no
God.
what?
Adamantity?
I said anonymity.
There's no D in anonymity.
It's adamantium. It's what Wolverine's bones are made out of.
Or an addictomy. You got that sex change operation.
You're right. I screwed up. I had a 12-step meeting.
You did. Anyway, line of the day.
Or what did you
Or,
learn?
yes, and or what did you learn? Is brought to you by Step Brothers. Hey, now available on DVD, Blu-ray, High Def, and PSP. Step Brothers stars Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. It's rated R for crude and sexual content and pervasive language. Available in both theatrical and unrated versions.
Here comes. What did we learn? What did we learn?
Ooh, I like Jimmy singing that. Coke Logic. Well, our buddy Coke Logic learned something today. What'd you learn there, Coke?
Good evening. Today I learned that all but 3 listeners of O&A are big fat men.
True. All but 3.
Hey, can I ask the listener? I just need a couple listeners to do me a question. Do me a favor if you could. Could somebody make a Photoshop of me as a girl, but using a real photo of me? Don't use anybody else's work. Somebody use a Photoshop of me as a girl. If you could, to mail it to yellowtreats@AOL.com.
Is this your new ad on Craigslist?
No. I'm doing something. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why. That's why he should be.
That is right.
That's exactly why.
Yes.
Meanwhile, today we mentioned 40 bands, and E-Rock was looking for the record albums.
Drop the ball on every single one of them.
I agree.
So, Derek, why are you not with us at CBS?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I can answer that for you.
There's no gear over there for me to use either.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room. Like, space is extremely limited over there. So, I mean, the facility that he gets to use in that room far outshines anything that they have over at CBS.
I know, but he's so good with the music cues.
Well, there's more room if E-Rock wasn't over there. Yeah, let's go to Chicago. Hi, Brian.
Good morning.
What did we learn this
I learned a lot of things today. One of them is that if you're Catholic, your socks have wings.
Your socks have wings. Oh,
okay, Argoyle.
Argoyle. Yes, look at us. We can't even remember. Thank you, sir.
Piaz.
What's up, man?
Hello?
Hi, what did you learn today?
Well, I want to say first, hey to Jimmy.
Hey.
I love your book, and I went out and bought 5 more for little stocking stuffers.
Thank you. I had 3 weeks on the bestseller list. I don't know if I'll have a 4th.
They good ass stuffers, too.
Yes, they certainly do.
What do you got?
Well, I've learned that Rich Voss is a fucking idiot, and that Steve C. is still gay.
Oh.
Can you come see me? Where are you calling from?
Mississippi.
Oh. Is there anything going on down there?
Robert.
Mississippi?
Actually, on the instant feedback, Steve from Bayshore says,
Oh.
today I learned that E-Rock doesn't need Opie in studio to get yelled at.
Yeah, it's true.
Robert.
Hey there, Bob.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
I learned that I never appreciated Opie as much as I have today.
Why is that, sir?
Oh, you guys are great, but you guys are missing the captain of your ship.
Yeah?
The captain of the ship?
Kind of. He's got moving it forward. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Jimmy, love the book.
We stayed on one subject the whole day?
No, not at all.
Well, then go
You guys were
fuck
good. You guys were
yourself.
good.
Op.
Thanks.
All right, take care of.
Shit. What about Canada? Let's talk to one of our friends from the Great White North.
Oh, good. Hope it's a fat
Line
person
5.
that's happy they can get on a plane now.
Hi, Canada.
Dave, go. It's you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I actually felt dumber today after listening to Rich Voss's views on Judaism.
Are you a Jew?
I could be, according to Rich.
He doesn't practice. But
Yeah,
according to the Nazis, doesn't matter.
Shut up. You're from Canada. Nobody cares about you.
Canadian Jews. I think they had those.
Fucking dummies. Dumb Canada.
All right, fuck it. We'll take one more and get the fuck out of here.
Why? These are going so well.
Yeah, right?
The magic is flowing.
And we should absolutely go back to line of the day. We're much better than the listeners.
Of course we are. Why can't we do both? Why are they mutually exclusive things?
What?
Why can't we just do both?
Because that would take too long.
We can't. We didn't have any lines today.
Right.
It was nothing. That's not saying anything today about today's show. It was just we're understaffed, and we just didn't have the
resources to
today.
pluck the lines.
We can do one. This one's not bad. Rick in North Hampshire.
North Hampshire. It's NH, so it's got to be North Hampshire.
North Hampshire.
North
Morning,
Carolina.
guys.
Hampshire.
Morning, guys. I learned two things today. One, BCN management sucks and deserves to get the Ramrod room treatment. And I also learned that Rich Voss's tongue is where words go to die.
Should have just stuck with the first one.
Yeah. All right.
Cut your losses.
You got to close on something strong.
I caught a good fart of the elevator coming up.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Oh, my God.
That poor fucking lady that was getting off on the 4th floor.
That was a loud one, too.
She didn't want to hear that.
I was laughing so hysterically, and I was trying to hide the fact that I was laughing at Jim's ass. So I just went, "Oh, Kenny," because Kenny had done something funny like 4 floors ago. So I tried to pretend that I was still laughing at that.
Jim, you got a parting comment?
I want to see if I can... Wait, there's paper here. Let me see if I can move it.
Oh, see if you can move paper with telekinesis farts. I think he shit himself.
Did it move? Do you know how many gigs just fell out of his ass?
I think you shit yourself. Did that make a sound? All right, what a perfect way to end the show. That's wonderful. I have to do the line.
One more.
Yeah, of
Sorry.
course I do. That beautiful line of the day and what Jimmy finished off with, brought to you by Step Brothers. Step Brothers. Now available on DVD, Blu-ray, high def, and PSP. Step Brothers stars Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Is rated R for crude and sexual content and pervasive language. Available in both theatrical and unrated versions. Thank you for listening in. Tomorrow we will be back. And, Ope comes back, Wednesday? Something like that. So we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Rich Voss.
Thank you.
For chiming in every so often with some bit of brilliance. And we'll see you tomorrow, man.
The country's moving in a new direction now. Jump on the train and be with everybody else.
Jump on the train. That's right. The boxcar to Auschwitz.
You're listening to Opie and Anthony.
America's foul mouth.
You don't like something, so you're trying to create reasons as to why other people shouldn't enjoy it.
Filthy four-letter word.
Goddamn C word. You're a C word.
You're doing all of these things to get around the fact that if you don't like it, other people shouldn't hear it.
And it ends with a T, that whole thing.
There is no need for disgusting, perverted, filthy language.
Stop thinking for others and live your life.
You friggin' blind bitch.
The virus. XM202.